wait if that's what you would like to do. I mean, if we can hold this podcast for about 10 minutes, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, I mean, I'm not gonna complain if that's what you want to do. We can wait for you to go change.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Station podcast.
Welcome to Boxing Day!
Hi.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Jesse. God damn it, guys, come on.
I was quiet!
She was fine. She offered to go change, and I simply wanted to take her up on that offer. I don't understand. What's the problem?
I was just explaining that I've been accident
For
prone
her.
today, and that I was probably going to spend a decent amount of time today, like, complaining. And he said, oh, then you're like most other female bloggers. And I said, oh, but wait, I need to go change into a different shirt, obviously.
I see.
Yes.
And I offered to let her. What is the problem with that? The audience is already noticing my super gloves.
It's not just that they're noticing. They're noticing your terrible sound quality and the fact that you're too zoomed in. That's because you're not here. You're elsewhere.
I'm on a laptop and in a cold room, and I have gloves. My spider gloves.
That's the gist of it.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no, Jesse, oh, they were just gloves.
I'm in my houseboat this week.
His houseboat is far nicer than my houseboat because
Seems
it
good.
has to be
It
has
is.
to be made to combat the snow.
Yes. It's
There's
actually
snow
more
where
of a-
my
It's
houseboat is.
actually more of a house Zamboni, and it's around on ice. But for some reason, it can only operate in a hockey or skating rink. So, really can't
Makes
travel that
sense.
far. Really, it just goes in a circle and about 100 square feet, and that's about it.
It's the
But it
family
is-
business to maintain ice skating rinks.
Yes, that's
Yes.
exactly
That's
exactly
what
right.
you do.
You figured it out. Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty intuitive, guys.
Cox and Zambonis. If you like your ice flat, we'll flatten it. Ain't never had no flatter ice than when the Cox Zambonis comes in.
Hey, TotalBiscuit, how are you?
Oh, I'm just peachy, as you can tell. Everything's wonderful. You know, we started the show off so well. XSplit decided it would do its little crackly thing on the microphone, which is always nice to
course.
hear. I'm hoping that's now fixed, and then we had Jesse with his nonsense, and we don't have a guest this week because everyone's so busy on Boxing Day.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why people got
Boxing?
Busy with the boxing,
I
man. There's so
found
many
out-
boxes.
I was mentioning Boxing Day and I looked it up on Wikipedia and it's kind of like a Black Friday for a lot of countries. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of people who were punching old ladies to get underwear today.
Yeah, that's...
And
I
we need
hope.
to respect that.
Yeah, although in the UK, essentially, it's not kind of punching, it's quietly queuing while glowering at their backs, and then
It's just
Presenting
lots of
them.
really long lines.
presenting them with a strongly worded letter at some point later in the day. That's essentially how it works. I've worked on Boxing Day before, actually. A few years ago, I worked on Boxing Day at Game, and you get paid triple for that day, and it's not worth it. No.
Oh,
It
really?
is
It's that
really
bad?
Yeah. I mean, think about working on Black Friday, yeah? Now think about taking the element of Black Friday, where everyone's crazy for deals, and then adding in this huge entitlement complex for everyone in the country. Because essentially they're storming in to get refunds on that day. Boxing Day is one of the biggest sale days in the UK, but it's also one of the biggest refund days. And it's both at the same time. Because people are bringing back Christmas gifts that were unwanted. They're bringing in gifts that they didn't even get from that store, trying to trade them in or trying to sell them back to you. And this is basically what will happen all day. And the combination of the two is insanity. And it is definitely not worth the money they give you to work on that day. I worked on that day once, never ever again.
Yeah.
Dear God. It was pretty horrible. I actually, on that day, that was the day when I had something thrown at my head. It was, yeah, it was a wonderful experience. We had a Boxing Day sale, which had all sorts of different things, including the idea you can get this amazing case for the PSP. Like, there was always one case I used to recommend for the PSP whenever I worked in game, because it was made by Logitech, and it basically, you could smash this thing with a hammer, and it would be absolutely fine. And you could play the PSP
like
inside
old
the case.
Nintendo cartridges.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's basically this kind of armor, and the deal was that if you bought a PSP game, you would get this for like £5, right? So, yeah, I know, like, all 4 people that listen to Blue Please have actually heard this story before. The rest of you haven't, so shut up. Anyway, so
People are like, oh, this is such old news.
Yeah, oh my god, he talked about this like 4 years ago on a podcast nobody listened to. What the fuck, man? But this thing, you had to get one of the games that was kind of in this selection, and someone brought up the game in the selection, put it down, and it's like the game also had the words out of stock on it, yeah? So like, well, I'll go check the back and see if there's anything there, and, you know, just because that's what you do as a retailer, you check the back, you sit there for about 5 minutes knowing that it's not in the back because there is nothing in the back, and then you go back and say, sorry, it's not there. So she said, oh, that's fine, I'll just take the case then. So I ring the case up for like the £20 it actually costs. And like, no, it says 5 there. It's like, no, it's 20 if you buy it with this game. But it's like, but you didn't have this game in stock, so you should give it to me for 5. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not what we do. And then at which point, picked up the thing and basically said, fuck you, and threw the thing at my head and then stormed out of the store. It was a wonderful thing.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. I have to admit, I've never worked retail. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot.
Yeah, it's an experience. Like, have you worked one of the Devil's 3, though? You've got to have worked one of the Devil's 3, which is retail, data entry, and basically call center. Have you worked one of those 3?
I worked at a spa where I had to cold call a bunch of people that came in years ago.
That's pretty much the same thing as call center, yeah. So
it was the worst.
Yeah, you've worked one of the Devil's 3. That's fine. Jesse, have you?
I think I've worked all 3.
All of them? It's a character building experience, isn't it?
Oh.
Why is it food on the Devil's 3?
Oh, well, in the UK, it doesn't really count in the UK because working in a restaurant in the UK is actually pretty good. Like, I know over here it fucking sucks, but
yeah, I'll be honest. Besides the hours during high school for a year, I worked at McDonald's, and it was pretty great. The managers were all stoners. We would borrow the fry boxes that had the Monopoly tokens on them, and then we would peel them off and give them to our friends and turn back in.
Wow.
What?
Look, I'm not saying we were scamming the system, but we scammed the system.
You're a horrible person, Jesse. How does it feel?
Pretty great.
To be fair, like, that's actually what happened with all the Monopoly stuff, wasn't it? Like, pretty much all the main winners were actually employees. That's been going on for like about 10 years.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Look, I was just a victim of the system, man.
Right,
I was young, and damn it, I needed to know if I won that $3 coupon for a Big Mac or whatever. Like, you never want anything good. It would just be like, yeah, you got fries. Like, here, have it. Because we couldn't go turn it in. So we'd give it to friends. We were like Robin Hood is what we were.
Definitely. Yes. I think that's an accurate statement.
No, when I was listening to to the story of armor in the UK, I just imagine that's all it is. People returning just suits of armor. But
this was not up to my standards.
They're all returning to the wrong store. So like, oh, and the guy's like, oh, this is Soulsby and Sons.
No. You can't shout at them. You can't even raise your voice at them. I got told off at one point for an aggressive posture, I believe. This was what my manager told me from watching it in the back on CCTV. It's like, you had an aggressive posture while dealing with this customer. It's like, you weren't even there. You have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, it's... Yeah. No, you're not allowed to adopt it.
Did it look kind of like this?
Apparently I was looming. It's like, it's not my fault I'm a foot taller than this woman.
Oh my god, I hope it was like in all the really like, well, what do we have here? Turn it into some armor, are we? Well, governor. Like,
all right, governor, how you doing? Oh, I see you got a suit of armor. It's a suit of armor, that is. Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid it ain't from this shop. You got to take it to the shop down the road, see?
Perfect, yes. Mm-hmm. All right, then.
All right, how you doing? Yes, and someone comments, Jesse, everyone isn't from London, you know. It's like, yes, they are. In the minds of Jesse Cox, yes, they are.
I like how someone's giving me credit that accent was from somewhere.
Yeah, it was Cockney-esque. Yeah, it was Cockney-esque. All right, love, how you doing? Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
Today, I think I'm gonna go see Les Mis today.
Oh,
later.
why?
Oh my god.
Why?
I'm
Why?
sorry.
Why?
Because it's amazing.
Because my mom wants to see it,
It's-
so
I'm so
so I
excited.
must go.
We
I
have
think it's gonna be
we
hard
have
to convince them to go see Django Unchained. I don't know if they'll go see that. So
Oh, that I need to go see. That looks great.
Django
Instead-
Unchained is basically Western Kill Bill.
That's cool with me.
It's
I'm
everything I want.
With more racism, right?
With lots of racism.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
And then, so I guess that's what I'm gonna do. So expect next week lots of really great French accents.
Most of the people in that movie just had British
Really
accents.
great French accents. Oh,
Yep.
I fully go in expecting to hear. It's like in what was that movie? Valkyrie with Tom Cruise, where it took place in German. No one had a German.
Yeah.
They were all English accents, or even Tom Cruise is like, "We've got to kill Hitler." Like, what? It's like, all right, German, whatever you say.
Okay.
Wasn't that the same thing with Enemy at the Gates, where everyone had a British accent in
Yes,
Russia?
Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a problem. Or XCOM, where everyone speaks American regardless of the big national flags on their names. It's like, my name is Subani Jumbabi, and I speak in a perfect American accent.
I'm sorry, Sujini Jumbabi?
Subani Jumbabi, of course. The Nigerian alien expert, an elite sniper.
I finally bought XCOM after watching
Oh, dear.
you on the Yogscast stream.
Why? What? That was nothing but about 5 hours of complete and total frustration, ended with the biggest amount of bullshit I've ever seen, and me rage quitting the game, and that was what forced you to buy it.
It was fantastic.
Why do you love pain?
Well, the second that I saw a thin man kill me through 3 walls
Uh-huh.
with one shot, I was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm in. I'm ready.
You know, if you want, I'm very, very tempted to try and get all of you into Blood Bowl. Because Blood Bowl is the bullshit of XCOM, multiplied by yet more bullshit of XCOM, but you can play it multiplayer in a league format. Blood Bowl is essentially American football with fantasy Warhammer teams. So you play as like Chaos and Orcs and shit like that. And it's got the league, your team kind of evolves over the course of the league. Like, you gain levels for your players and you get different abilities and stuff. Except your players can perma-die. Like, and it can happen
Just like in the normal game.
Yeah. It's complete replication of the board game, completely. So everything that's in there in the campaign mode is in the game that's on Steam. So your guys can die, and they can die for the most bullshitty of reasons. Like, you have the option at times to sprint extra, but you have to roll the dice to see whether or not you fall over. Fall over, you also roll the dice to see if you get injured. You could roll an injury that permanently kills your best player because he tripped over on the field. Welcome to what Blood Bowl is.
I want that
Let's
so badly.
do it, guys.
I want that so badly.
A TGS Blood Bowl league would actually be absolutely wonderful, because the pure and utter rage that game induces is nothing short of mind-boggling.
I can just imagine a dude running.
You gotta put the Chariots of Fire music in the background.
Yes.
Slow motion. Yeah, and then
he runs, trips, and then
breaks his
explodes.
neck.
Just dies.
Explodes.
Yeah.
That sounds actually wonderful. Yeah, we need about like 6 to 8 people to do a league, but we could totally do that.
That's amazing. I'm in.
We should definitely do that.
Do it.
There's 2 editions. I wouldn't bother with the Chaos edition. The Legendary edition was on Steam a few days ago. I wonder how much it actually is.
Wait, is this like a mod?
No, it's a full game. Oh yeah, Blood Bowl Legendary Edition is $5 on Steam right now. I mean, they brought out basically 3 versions of this game. It's not a mod or anything. It's
Why is this
no.
real? This is so great.
Yeah, for some reason, well, there's actually a sordid tale behind this. So
Ooh.
the guys that made this got called Cyanide Studios, and they're not really known for making great games. Like they made one of the Game of Thrones games. In fact, they made both of them. They're both
I was
bad.
just gonna say
Yeah.
they made the Game of Thrones game
Yeah.
that was on my list of worst games of
Indeed, they did.
2012.
Yeah, Pro Cycling Manager. They also made that, and unfortunately, a bunch of other stuff. But Blood Bowl is competent, I would say. It's not great, but it's competent. And they started by making a game called Chaos League, which was essentially an unlicensed Blood Bowl. Like, it was a complete clone in every
Can we
way.
play that instead?
No.
Because unlicensed games are always better.
No, they really aren't. That Chaos League was okay, but not that great. And Games Workshop went to them and said, this is Blood Bowl, we're suing you. And they eventually worked out an agreement where they wouldn't sue the shit out of Cyanide as long as they made a Blood Bowl game instead.
God, there it is.
And that's why they made Blood Bowl. And it is, as I say, it is $5. I'm gonna buy a copy now because my copy is on disc somewhere in the UK.
Add to cart.
Yep.
My copy's
Purchase.
on floppy.
Yep. There's a Goblin team, by the way. That
What?
The Goblin team cheats a lot and brings chainsaws and pogo sticks and shit onto the field. But there is a
Might be
random
the
chance that
Goblin
they will get
team.
sent off. So it's kind of ridiculous.
By the
Sorry.
way,
I'm Goblin King. You lose. Sorry. What?
speaking of goblins, I saw Hobbit,
Okay.
and I totally
The
agree
little
with you
goblin,
guys
the little
that it's
goblin who wheels
fantastic.
himself, he's like,
Dude,
That-
he was great. That was like the one point in the I was trying so hard to be quiet throughout that movie, aside from like going like this, but
Right.
that was one of those moments where I was like, "What?" Like, just got so
little-
excited.
And for those of you who haven't seen it, there's a little goblin who takes notes, and then he wheels himself around in a little cart. He might be the best character in the entire
This is
series.
so good.
I'll call him Nilbog. His name is Nilbog, and he's wonderful. That's goblin spelled backwards.
I agree with you guys though that the storm giants scene was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I was like-
it didn't need to be there. It was almost like they wanted to evoke memories of the scene on the mountain with, you remember in the Lord of the Rings where Saruman gets all up in their grill? It's basically that again, without the absolutely amazing narration that was going over the top, which I'm pretty sure that they just got that. Why do I keep forgetting who is he? Who acts him? What the fuck? Why can't I remember? Who is that guy?
Saruman.
acts
Christopher Lee. Yeah, I keep getting mixed up between Christopher Lee and the guy who does Gandalf. But I'm pretty sure that they said to Christopher Lee, "You've just got to sound epic in this scene. You could say whatever the hell you want." Because all of those incantations he's doing in the background sound like absolute bullshit. There's like one moment where he's pretty much going ha-di-da-di-la-di-da. I'm like, what? That's not
That is
anything.
Elvish. That is true Elvish.
I was gonna say Tolkien was pretty
Da-di-da.
intense about
Yeah.
his languages.
Yeah.
They can't mess that sort of shit up, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ha-di-da and ha-di-da.
pretty much, yeah. And incidentally, we know the Storm Giants were in it. I remember the Storm Giants from the book, but it's just the way that they handled the scene didn't really have any impact, I felt. It's just
Yeah.
like they put it in their cause.
The only way that I was able to justify it in my mind was that at the point when they said, "Okay, we're going to turn this into 3 movies so that we can fit everything in," they were like, "Well, the Storm Giants are in it, so let's plop them in there." I was like,
Here's the thing that I'm waiting for, and someone in chat just pointed this out. I think Spam Down did. In the lore and in Lord of the Rings: War in the North, the video game, which is actually kind of great,
I need to play that.
the Eagles talk. The Eagles have a whole
Yeah.
society.
Yep.
The Eagles have a king. They have all this stuff, and their voice, which I think is even more funny, is in Lord of the Rings: War in the North. The guy who plays the main eagle sounds just like Elrond in the movie, but Elrond in the game doesn't sound like it's nonsense. But he's like greetings, heroes, I will take you to the north, and it's like this
Mr.
guy's just,
Anderson.
they have this great like whole society, and in the movies it's like, come, freaking eagle, I saved you.
Yeah,
Like, that's
they
it.
really didn't. They didn't do them justice, and they haven't done it in The Hobbit either. I'm hoping that maybe I can't remember if the Eagles show up again later on in The Hobbit, but if they do, hopefully they do at least a bit with it.
I guess somewhere along the line, someone at like a higher up level in New Line Cinema or whoever works with them, it was like, look, we can buy mountains fighting, we can buy goblins, we can buy elves, but eagles that talk, that's just crazy.
"That's a lot of work, guys.
That's a
We gotta
stretch
hire all
imagination.
sorts of voice actors. We gotta do all certain, you know."
Just
Just
have them
forget
be
it.
eagles. What? I mean, have them
Why
be
they gotta
eagles
be
whose
fancy
best...
eagles, you know?
Sure, their best friends are moths. I mean, that's about as far as we're gonna
Obviously.
go.
I like the idea that all things that fly are just BFF. Like they just all know each other and like discuss things. I was like, what?
Gandalf,
Uh,
and Gandalf knows that. Gandalf goes.
mhm.
He knows bird speak.
Moth speak, man.
I also want to point out Gandalf was delightful in that movie.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like Gandalf the Grey is way cooler than Gandalf the White any day.
Dude, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you watch Colbert Report,
Every
but
now and again.
he totally interviewed Ian McKellen, and Ian McKellen
And,
was like, "Well,
yeah,
yeah, Gandalf the Grey is way more fun than Gandalf the White. He smokes, he drinks, he's chill,
He's also a
and
dick most of the time. We should point
totally
that
he's a
out.
super dick. It's
Yeah.
great.
yes.
I love Gandalf the Grey.
Absolutely.
In fact, it seemed to be my favorite part of that entire thing is when he was going through the wizards, and he was like, "There's Radagast the Brown, there's Saruman the White, there's Gandalf the Gray, and then there's
And,
two blue ones.
and then there's the blue ones. I don't
You don't
know.
even need to know about them." I was like, "That is wonderful." But then I was like, "I wonder who they are. There's so much
Dude,
fun."
Radagast was the best.
Yes.
He was
Totally well
so
done.
great. Like, oh, his costume design was fantastic, and he was just so crazy. I loved him. Yeah,
You
overall,
you get to find and meet him in War of the North. That game, for some reason, flows. It makes so much more sense when you watch The Hobbit. Like when you play War in the North, it's like your story takes place while the actual like Fellowship is going off to go throw the ring in Mount Doom. So you're like doing this whole side quest that takes you back through all the places that are in The Hobbit. It's wonderful, simply
Aw.
delightful.
I should try that out.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, because we have to get all of our movie crap out of the way in the first like half an hour. So
Uh-huh.
I got around to watching the Avengers, and I got around to watching it on my new TV, which I got for Christmas, and
Is
with
it not
with
wonderful?
3D. Active 3D. Active 3D kicks the shit out of Cinema 3D. I'm sorry, it really, really does.
I don't even know the difference.
All right,
I don't know the difference either.
So
It's
essentially, there's two kinds of 3D, yeah? There's active 3D and there's passive 3D. What you watch in the cinema is passive 3D. What they do is they use polarized glasses, yeah? The shitty glasses you have to wear, they're pre-polarized. Usually means that the things, like the whole thing's a lot darker than it should be, and the 3D's not it doesn't have as much depth as active. Active actually has glasses that are electronically polarized and synced with the television, and essentially flickering. The shutters are flickering at a very, very rapid rate. So you actually cannot, you can't notice it. And it gives so much more depth and clarity. It doesn't fuck with the brightness at all, and it gives a lot more depth and clarity to the scene. So everything just looks uber crisp and absolutely wonderful. So yeah, I really like active. I know that there's some cinemas in the world that actually use active. They have like sets of glasses that are synced to the screen, and then you hand them back in. But like pretty much every cinema I've been to in the UK and the US uses passive, and it's again I don't like passive as much. I don't feel that it really adds as much to the scene, whereas watching it with active, it's like, yeah, this is fucking 3D, and this has got clarity, and nothing's blurred anywhere, and everything looks great. So, and the movie was awesome. Yeah, there's no real question about that.
I stole
Yeah,
my
it is.
my Hobbit glasses, so sorry, cinema. I took them. I did not turn them back in.
I'm sure.
I took.
I didn't. Oh my gosh, that's my one regret. I didn't see it in 3D because I normally don't like 3D, but that means that I missed out on the like 9 minutes of Star Trek footage, and I was dying inside. I was like, no, what have I done?
Yeah, you see
So I
it.
have to go
It's
see it
only
again.
it's IMAX only is where it's at.
Really? Yeah, because I was going to say, I didn't see the Star Trek footage.
What?
Yeah, it's IMAX only. Wait, that means we can go to the IMAX one.
Do you want to go to the IMAX one?
I kind of do.
Let's do it.
Did
Oh
you
my
see
gosh,
it
I'm
in
so-
48 frames or 24?
24.
I
I didn't. There's literally no.
No
can't
way?
find a
In the
place
heart
that
of
shows
LA,
it
there's no
48.
48.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There was, all this initial drama about it apparently making people sick has scared all the cinemas off it. So, GG, press, and dumb reviewers. Thanks for fucking with actual useful technology. You suck the cock of 3D, and yet when it comes to 48 FPS, you're like, oh, yes, but the integrity of the film, and it makes me sick, because I'm 80 years old and geriatric. I don't know.
What do you say?
Yes.
What do you say? What do you say? That sounds less.
I can just imagine Jesse,
like
85 years old, in a movie with an ear horn, like a brass ear horn.
Yes, I want that.
What was that? What say you, 25th remake of Superman?
I wonder if that
feeling there'll be
Superman's
a
going to
lot
be
of
any
them.
good, actually.
I was gonna say, I hope.
Yeah.
I can
It's-
only
it
hope
has
that
both
there
Kevin
won't that many
Costner and
Superman
Russell Crowe in it for no good reason at all. So,
What?
yeah. Either Kevin Costner or Russell Crowe is Superman's dad. I think they're both Superman's dad, aren't they? Because one's
Wait.
the adoptive dad and one's the real dad.
I was just about to say, wait, are we talking Jarl?
Oh yeah,
or are
no.
we
Kevin
talking,
Costner
like...
is the adopted dad.
Yeah.
He's
And
yeah, he's
Russell
okay.
Crowe, I'm pretty sure, is the
Wow.
real dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, this is one of those ones where I'm gonna see it, and either I'm gonna love it or be disappointed. I have to sit through another rehash of an origin story. That's why I hated the new Spider-Man, because I was like, I know all of this. Even if you're changing it like this much, I still get where he comes from, and I have to see his damn uncle die again, like for like
Wait,
1,000th time.
so the horrible writing wasn't what you
I-
disliked about that
I-
movie?
Wrong!
I found their chemistry delightful. I thought that Peter Parker and what's her face? I'm trying to think of the character's name. My brain just died. Not Mary
Gwen?
Jane. She's
Was it
Gwen.
Gwen?
Gwen
Yeah. I
Stacy.
just picked up the game, so I'm now getting yet more of that because it carries on where the movie left off.
The two of them were delightful. They were wonderful. The story was stupid. The fact that the lizard it made no sense, and then there were other that was nonsense. But yeah, I just didn't like the movie because half an hour in, I'm like, I've literally seen this before. So
Yeah, I watched the whole lot. It was okay. Decent action scenes. I liked that more wisecracking is always good, and I liked the kind of return to it's little little electronic shooters on the arms, and they can break and stuff, and that adds an interesting element.
Never ran out of jackets.
Yeah, that's also
Jackets
true.
would rip off and come back.
When the movie ended, that was our #1 complaint. We were like, where does he get these jackets from? Every time the lizard's like, I'm gonna transform, he always has like 18 jackets.
Yeah, it's like,
He rips a jacket, next thing he has another jacket on. Like, where does he get them? Does he have a storeroom of jackets? Where do they come from?
I think the worst
all in a
scene in that
sewer.
movie was the New Yorkers rally around to extend crane arms across the city bit.
Oh my god, that was so
That
funny.
was unbearable.
They were like,
That
whatever, we're gonna do what we want.
unbelievably cheesy. Like, that was worse than the whole bit on the bridge. Like, the bit on the bridge made sense, yeah? Like,
Yes,
that was okay, because there were people already there, and it's like, hey, you're trying to slaughter kids, we're not very happy about that, in a New Yorky kind of way. That's fair. But the other one is like, we're gonna elaborately arrange these cranes in such a way as to... Don't be ridiculous!
So
I
funny.
feel like there's certain points where movie producers and directors miss the like emotional cues of, okay, as Americans, every once in a while we get like a little patriotic, like, all right, yeah, we'll stick up for you, Spider-Man. But there is no amount of like when you're like, everyone extend your crane so that he can swing across it. At that point, you're like, fuck it. You know
They're
what?
all conveniently
no one's
lined
that
up at
patriotic.
exactly the same point to
No
allow
one's
this to
that
happen.
patriotic. Like, bridge scene, that's good. Like, yeah, we'll stick up for our town.
Yeah.
We're gonna align all these things that all have American flags on them so you can swing. Bullshit. We're done. I'm out of the movie. Like, that doesn't... Same thing in Spider-Man 2. I believe they had the exact same thing. Like, get out of our town, mister! Yeah, we're gonna get you, Ock! Like, it's like, no. Shut up. That does not happen.
Yeah,
Stop.
it was kind of silly. I was playing a little bit of the game. It seems all right. It's not too bad, honestly. It's blatantly a clone of Arkham City. There's no real question about that.
There's so many of those now.
Yeah, and then none of them are as good either. It's got the exact same kind of combo system, dodge counter system. It tries to be as fluid as that, but it's got a hell of a lot more sort of canned animations, I feel, like finishers, to the point where I have a feeling that's like, well, within 20 minutes, I'm probably gonna have seen all of these, and chances are that it's then gonna repeat over and over again. And also, you can web swing in thin air, which is really, it's like it'll stick to clouds, and like you're swinging through Central Park, and there's clearly nothing to swing from, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. because, you know, Spider-Man. So,
Yeah,
aside from that, it seems okay. Not so great.
Hmm.
All right,
I
well,
probably will never play it.
and you are not going to miss anything. So, we're going by Twin Chain's suggested format for 2013, which is movies, been playing, trailer releases, host topics, and whoring. Yes. Yes, that is exactly
Sounds
it.
Perfect.
Yep, that's our podcast.
I would like to point out that for so long you guys fought me on this. For so long.
I have always
You
been
fought
up for
me.
talking about movies.
You fought me on all I want to do is share with you Prometheus, and you fought me.
But it's because you had a dumb theory. That's the only problem with it.
Well, hold on. After having seen the movie, was it dumb, or would that not have made the movie better? Just saying.
I actually kind of liked it. I liked it too. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh my god, you guys, shut up. Go back and watch Stupid Town with your stupid self.
Wow.
Stupid Town seems like an Adam Sandler movie that I wouldn't watch.
Gabba-doo, Sabba-doo, it's me, Adam Sandler, back in a new movie with my friend Rob Schneider.
Oh no!
We're gonna make some funnies.
Has Rob Schneider been in anything in like years?
Let us find out on IMDb. What was the last thing that Rob Schneider was actually in? Wow, he was the writer for Deuce Bigelow, American Gigolo. I did not know that. Let's see. He's been in it. He was in The Reef 2 High Tide. He was Dodger in Dino Time.
I'm actually Rob Schneider.
In a
I've been meaning to tell you guys. I just couldn't quite get it out.
Noah's Ark: The New Beginning.
Oh,
Has he gone full religious, or is that,
oh my God.
That a spoof?
Oh, you want to hear something ridiculous? He was in Jack and Jill as an uncredited actor, as an uncredited character by the name of Alan.
I bet he was the guy who was like, he's like Jack and Jill are about to like do something. He goes, "You can do it, Jack and Jill," and that was his one line in that movie.
Yeah, and they were like, maybe we should just cut this out.
Also in You May Not Kiss the Bride, Elf Sparkle and the Special Red Dress, The Chosen One, Grown Ups, American Virgin, Wild Cherry, Bedtime Stories. Like, the last movie I think that was even remotely popular that was in was You Don't Mess with the Zohan, and even that was awful.
What is that?
You Don't Mess with the Zohan? That was
another Adam Sandler film in which he played a nice young Jewish fellow who was in the army, I believe, or whatever, and then came to America.
He was Israeli Special Forces, so like Mossad or something along those lines.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever even
I'll
heard
fight
of that
terrorists because I'm Adam Sandler.
Which, if it wasn't Adam Sandler, that might have actually turned out to be a reasonably amusing concept. Certainly not an award winner or anything. You're not going to get an Oscar for that stupid movie, but it would have been kind of fun. But they cast Adam Sandler as that guy, so...
I think Adam Sandler wrote it.
Oh, Jesus,
Adam Sandler doesn't do anything that he doesn't make himself.
Yep.
Let's just say Hollywood ain't fans.
Yeah, Rob Schneider was a character called Salem. Salim. Yes.
Here's what we need.
Mm-hmm.
The world is finally ready for it. They've both fallen from the graces of Hollywood. We need a Mike Myers, Adam Sandler buddy comedy in which they play Happy Gilmore and Austin Powers joined together in a movie road trip comedy where they find themselves again at a wine tasting event.
Road trip. I hate road trip comedy so much.
I'm just saying that needs to happen.
It's awful.
I would see that.
Just completely in character. Completely in character. Not even like we're... Whoa. They're Adam Sandler and Mike Myers going to a convention where they have to portray their characters, and then they lose themselves in their characters on the way and don't know who's who, and they lose their humanity, but only regain it in the end when they realize that there are more important things in life.
Oh man, it's actually a really dark movie where they kill everyone at the convention.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Happy Gilmore is just beating the crap out of people with golf clubs. It'd be
Jesus.
weird.
All right, I'm arbitrarily ending the movie section. It's like we are deliberately stretching this out because there is like no news at all because everyone is not working. So yeah, you can have 40 minutes of movies, and now we can talk about what we can talk about what we got for Christmas, I guess. That's kind of gaming related. I got this thing. You see this little thing? It's adorable. It's actually it's a tiny mechanical keyboard.
Why would you need
You've wanted one of those for a while.
Yeah, I want because I travel all the time. So I need the keyboard on my laptop is absolute garbage. So I was looking to get something, and I saw this at a tournament. In fact, Dodger, you were at that tournament. It was Lone Star Clash. One of the techies was walking around with this. I'm like, oh my god, what is that keyboard?
I want that.
Yep, I want that, and it is a I don't know if you can even read that. Yes, it's a PokerX KBC mini mechanical keyboard. It is absolutely tiny, but the
Why
keys
is it called
are.
Poker X?
That's the brand.
Because you poke the keys, Jesse. God.
Yeah. Yep. And it's pretty wonderful. It's actually a great keyboard. It's less than half the size of my current keyboard. It doesn't have the number pad, but hey, you know, I don't need that.
Is it easy to use for somebody with
Yes.
like average size hands?
Yeah, because the keys are pretty much the same size. It's got no bezel at all. Things are slightly closer, and you don't have the function keys or the numpad and stuff like that. So yeah, it's totally easy. I'm a big fan of it. Huge fan of it. It's very good. It's awesome. Jesse, you get anything good?
I got wonderful stuff because funny story. Never say I have everything I could ever need, because once you say that, the gifts you get are bonkers. And so, hold on. I gotta get up. I got a radio that has a crank that is solar powered in case the world ends.
Oh, nice. Good.
Right.
Those are the type of gifts that my parents give me.
Right. I also got. Hold on. 2 wonderful books. Oh, I also got things to write letters to people, because that's a thing. Trivia for the toilet.
Oh, good.
And the book of the bazaar, filled with facts that I would need.
Fantastic. So lots of bathroom
That's-
readers.
That's literally it. Apparently, when you say I don't need anything, you get crazy stuff. So I had fun.
My family doesn't do anything for Christmas. We don't really celebrate it. So I didn't get anything from family, but I was sent this mug from ThinkGeek that I think is amazing, especially since we were all in the chivalry tournament. They have a Crusader
that's
helm
awesome.
mug
Look at
now.
that thing.
It's
That is great.
so cool. It's super thick. The inside is steel.
I could
like
not wash it.
You have
that
to
would be
hand
a
wash
pain.
it, but
I
yeah,
was
you
about
have to
say.
hand wash it. But I mean, the inside would be really easy to clean. You just need to not get anything out here, because then you'd be getting in all the nooks and crannies. But it's beautiful. I love it. And then I was sent a bunch of Jammy Dodgers, and they're fantastic.
I got Jammy Dodgers. They're amazing. As
They have Jammy Dodgers minis.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing, and now I'm so happy.
Yep. Someone sent me that. That lasted all about 20 minutes. So that tends to happen.
Remember when I ate Jaffa cakes that apparently
From 1962? Yeah. Yes, I do. It was hilarious.
could have died that day
You could have, but you
for
didn't.
your entertainment, internet?
Yeah, but you didn't. Also, that best thing, Fry's Turkish Delight.
Turkish delight.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that little boy ate in The Lion, the Witch,
Yes,
and
it
the
is.
Wardrobe?
That's where I first heard about it when I was a little boy, and I was like, I want to
still-
try
I still
Turkish
don't know what
Delight.
that is.
Those are
I
real?
still don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
that
all.
is.
Well, you can buy it. It's usually rose and lemon flavor kind of gelatin cubes that are dusted in sugar. They're absolutely fantastic. But the UK has sold these for ages. Fox's Turkish Delight is kind of it's nowhere near as good, but they cover it in chocolate and they put it in a bar, and you just eat it, and it's like, this is delicious. So
What is Turkish delight?
yeah, Fry's Turkish Delight, but you can buy legit Turkish Delight everywhere,
you
especially
find
around
porn?
Christmas.
Did you search for it and find
Do
porn?
you look for
That's what
Turkish
I
Delight
want.
and find porn? Yeah, probably. That's likely.
So long ago, someone sent me a link. This goes back to the amazing Dodger eating the Jaffa cakes from 1272. Someone sent me a link long ago. I just want to verify it was still up. It still is. If you go to Wikipedia and type in the year 1272, the very last entry, please do not get this removed. It has been on there for a good year. It says, a box of Jaffa cakes later owned in 2012 by Jesse Cox passed before date.
That is amazing.
It is
That's
on the
pretty
Wikipedia
wonderful.
page. Do not
Yeah,
get that removed.
Leave that shit alone.
One of you dicks is gonna remove that. Don't.
Yeah.
Wait, what year was it?
1272.
1272.
1272. That's right.
It's literally the last thing. That's an amazing thing.
I'm print screening that before somebody gets rid of it.
As well you should.
I have that as well, which is really funny. But the fact that it's still there, and we did that in May. I don't even know when that was. That's a long time. That's a good half a year for that to still be on there.
So funny to me. I love that. You guys are so funny, internet.
You are. Internet's the best.
Yeah, we like
We
you a
got
lot.
so much good fan art from last week about the things, the backpack
Oh yeah,
chasing
we got
him
loads of great stuff. Yeah, we tweeted
So much
most
good
of it,
stuff.
so feel free to just follow our Twitters, plug to get that. I don't think what else I
Yes.
got. I ordered something actually on Christmas Day because it happened to be a really good deal on Evike. I got myself another airsoft gun. It was like a really good MP5. I thought, you know what, I really want a really good MP5, so I bought that. I also got a top, like this giant top hole, and it's like, put this over the fence so you don't put dents in the fence when you're shooting your airsoft gun. So there's now a top hole over the back of the fence, so I shot at that a bunch. It was great. That was
Nice.
fun. Yeah. I can't shoot at live targets yet.
Well, you may be ready for the apocalypse with weapons, but I'll be up to date with my cranking radio that is powered by manpower.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
The Missus got a solar-powered keyboard, actually, a really nice one. It's
What?
Yeah, it's a Logitech one. It's designed for use with like iPads and phones and stuff, and it's a phenomenal little keyboard. It's really thin, but it's really good to
Sounds
type on.
awesome.
And it's fully solar-powered, so you never have to actually deal with batteries at all. It even takes artificial light's good enough for this fucking thing to run. So, yeah, it's pretty phenomenal. I was fairly impressed with that. I got Star Trek propaganda posters, by the way. From Think
What?
Geek. Check these out.
Show me.
I will show you. I'll pop the link in the description.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is dangerous. I'll probably buy these. I haven't even seen them yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get frames for all of these things.
Or what? What are these? What?
They're linked in the Skype chat. Go check them
Oh,
out.
what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Gotta
I
go-
need these.
Yeah,
No.
and video game ones too. The 5 video game ones, which is like,
Game propaganda. That's
yeah,
cute.
yeah. I love the Joust one. It's like most people don't even get the reference, but there's a Joust one. There's a Donkey Kong one. There is. I still haven't quite figured out what the Pump to Keep Free one is. I should probably know that. And then there's the.
Dig Dug?
It could be Dig Dug. Yeah,
Master
very well could be.
Blaster?
Yeah, and then there's Frogger. I love the Frogger one, the Russian style. That's really, really cool. So, yeah, these are awesome. The Missus got me these, and there's a Tron one as well. Oh, yeah, it's Dig Dug. It's actually written on the page. I'm an idiot.
The world needs good jumpers.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got jumps? You got jumps, man?
Yep. So I got those. Those were pretty cool. I'm sure I didn't crash ThinkGeek. I'm pretty sure it's fine. I got the Missus a giant portal turret, one of those plush ones. Apparently, it makes noises as well. Dodger, are you all right?
I'm fine.
She keeps abusing herself, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before the show, I'll let
This is
Dodger
cries-
tell the story.
These are cries for help. is
Okay,
what they are.
so here's what's happened to me today. I'm very accident prone today. So I went out to move my car. I was, just so you guys can accurately envision it, I was in a shirt that basically came down to my knees and huge sweatpants, Uggs, and then a huge bathrobe with a jacket over it because I was really cold. So I got in my car and moved it, and then as I was coming back, I stepped into a mud puddle and just slipped and biffed it, just ate shit, and my knee hit a brick.
God damn it.
So my knee has been hurting really bad all day. So while we were doing sound check, I went to put it up onto the cat tree because it seemed the most convenient thing. So I was reaching over to try to grab the cat tree and pull it closer to me, and I hit my face right on the edge of my desk and bit the inside of my lip. And so now right here hurts really bad.
Can I just say that we have the worst fans? I'm calling you out. Worst fans ever. Immediately, 1272 thing's gone.
You see, I've been
Immediately.
saying this for the last 2 years, and you guys keep going like, "Oh,
Immediately.
you can't say that on the podcast," but then now it's something you care about.
Well,
Aw.
that's different than what you care about, because I care about it. And it's gone now. You guys suck. You're the absolute
You
worst.
did say don't remove it, which is pretty much
Absolute
code for
worst.
take it away at all costs.
Yeah, well, or it could be literal speak for, hey, douche, don't remove it.
Don't remove this ever.
Because I know you probably will.
Universal rule of the internet. If you don't want anything to done about it, simply do not talk about it at all. Like, in any
Never mention
context
it.
whatsoever.
Let it be a secret.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Better be back up. It better be back up.
Yep.
No,
I got a
take it
fish
down.
as well,
I just saw
by
it
the way.
get taken down.
You could just add it back in.
Yeah, you can just
You could be the
revert
change
it,
in the world.
Yeah,
You
but
can.
You could be the hero that we deserve.
But now they'll
but
look.
not the one we need.
Now they'll look, and then they'll take it off permanently. History. We write the history here, not Wikipedia, not scientists and historians.
Citation needed, bro.
It happened. We have video evidence. It happened.
Yep.
Anything else? Anyone else get anything interesting for Christmas before we actually try and talk about
Also,
video games?
I want fan art by the end
Which is
of the
going to be
day.
difficult.
I want fan art of Dodger dressed in her, 18 layers, with curlers in her hair and Uggs, going outside. Let's say to throw kittens at young kids across the street.
With my
We need
cane.
that.
Yeah,
We need that.
that would
You're,
happen.
you're a crazy cat lady, not an old woman.
Oh, okay. Well, then why would I throw the cats? Obviously, I want to
But you have
keep them safe forever and not let them ever see the outside world.
Because you're crazy.
You've noticed
Oh, I
the
also
plot
got this
hole.
fox mug. There we go. I did it.
You have a lot of fox mugs. I saw the one you had got from Starbucks the other day that has the fox tail as the thing.
I do have a lot of fox mugs because I like foxes a lot.
There's a fox in
Problem.
Persona 4.
Oh, I have a problem. TV, don't tell me that.
I'm on the very last boss of that game.
Oh,
After
man.
60 hours of gameplay. Actually, 65. And it is a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I just want to finish the game. I just want to finish it so I can get the closure, because apparently the closure that you get and the true ending is like the best closure. As in, it's the ending that you want in the game. It's everything is explained. You get that nice closure there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I beat his first form because it's a Persona boss in a JRPG. Ergo, now you have unleashed my true form. You know,
Right,
that happens all
DBZ
the
style.
Yeah, pretty much. So they unleashes the true form, and then suddenly it's like, boom. I can attack twice a turn. I could pull off the most bullshit of attacks you've ever seen in your life. And apparently I can one-shot the protagonist, because it would appear you may not have ground enough. It's like, seriously, my protagonist is like almost 73 with the best gear I could possibly find, and like amazing selection of personas, and I just got absolutely destroyed. So I'm like, all right, great, I'm gonna have to do all that again. So I just, at that point, I just put it down and went to watch like 6 episodes of the animated series, because it was just less stressful that way. And I will eventually beat it, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with myself after that. That's kind of been my nightly ritual for the past month or so, just playing Persona 4 Golden. And people have said, go check out Persona 3, but apparently it's not as good, and I'm trying to decide if I want to play Persona 3 Portable or Persona 3 FES. One of those I can play on Vita, one I can't. I'd have to play on the PlayStation. And or whether or not I want to just do another JRPG. Like, I'm considering playing Parasite Eve. I never played that. Or Vagrant Story. I never played that either.
I remember
or
really liking
Chrono Cross.
Parasite Eve.
So you did or you didn't?
I remember liking it.
Yeah, I'm
Parasite
told it's
Eve
really good.
it suffered from the same thing that Vagrant Story suffers from. That weird period where Square was trying to come up with creative new ways of gameplay. And so both games have really funky, not so great gameplay mechanics, but terrific stories, terrific settings, terrific monsters. Like, everything about the game's great. Gameplay's a little wonky in both those games.
Right. Yeah, that's... I know, like, Square just has these weird ideas about battle mechanics and things like that, and some of them just don't make any fucking sense at all. And it's like, well, yeah, we wanted to redo the battle system. Like, but this is in alien speak. Like, I don't know what any of these things mean. You know? So, I don't know, I'll give it a shot. I'll see how I like it. I bought it on...
You definitely should try Vagrant Story. It's a terrific game.
There's a lot of good PS1 games that are available on Vita now for about $6 each, so I got that. I got Vagrant Story, I got Parasite Eve, I'll probably pick up Chrono Cross, and possibly a couple of others. Someone suggesting don't ever play Enchanted Arms. Yeah, I remember Enchanted Arms. Yeah, so within about 20 minutes, you find the most flamboyantly gay character there is. Like, there's nothing wrong with homosexual characters in video games, but the way that this guy is portrayed is actually in itself homophobic. Like, he is
super offensive.
yeah, it's unbelievably flamboyantly gay. And also, I'm pretty sure the first thing I fought was a piece of meat. Like, the monster was made of meat. So, I don't even know what's going on with that.
What was
Just wanted to cook
the
something.
was it Wild Arms? Is that another game? And
Wild
Chamber Arms
Arms,
different.
yeah, Wild Arms is a
Arms,
long
yeah.
story. Yeah, that's been a long. That's a big series, man.
Yeah, all right. So, all right, I was getting the two confused because it's like I remember playing Wild Arms and loving that game, and I was like, oh, because that's Wild Arms, not Enchanted.
Yeah, no, yeah. Enchanted Arms is completely different. Wild Arms is a pretty successful series. It's got great music as well. I've got all the soundtracks. It is a Western themed RPG, which makes the whole thing really crazy. Because like, here's all this Japanese anime stuff in the Wild West. So it's essentially Trigun the video game.
It was I remember playing that when what was it, the Lunar series?
Luna? Yeah.
I remember playing that, and I was like, this okay. It's okay. That's my feelings on the entire Lunar series.
That's actually everyone's feelings on Luna. You don't really need to worry about that.
Yeah.
You should play Ark the Lad, Twilight of the Spirits.
Oh, Ark the Lad, yeah. There are versions of that available on
That eye roll was for you.
Yeah, I know. It's not very good as far as I know. Anyway.
I love Twilight of the Spirits. That's in like my top games for sure. Yeah.
I know what I played of Ark the Lad wasn't really my thing, but that was many years ago.
I haven't played any other one that I've liked, if that helps.
Yeah, just a bit. I wanted to play the second Valkyria Chronicles, but for some reason it's not available on PSN. And like that game, and Dodge, I think you've played this, if I recall correctly. That game is fucking awesome. And
yeah, it's great.
They only brought out the first one on PS3, and then they brought out the other two on PSP. The third one didn't get translated at all, and apparently some bullshit went down whereby the third one is terrible. And I can't find the second one on PSN, even though I know it's out. So, yeah.
It's so weird. Why would they do that?
Japanese
like,
audience,
limit the
man.
number of people that can actually play a sequel to a game. Seems so silly.
That's Japan for you. Japan actually doesn't give a shit. The thing about... No, I'm actually deadly serious.
Japan doesn't give a shit.
Most Japanese developers
10 out of 10.
don't like being told that they did something that was wrong. Like, they find it gravely offensive. One of the big guys behind the Shining series, after the Save Our Shining Force thing went down years ago, basically described that entire campaign as enemies of the series. And a bunch of Japanese fans got really upset as well, because apparently they really liked the JRPGs, Shining Force Neo and Shining Force EXA, which were the games after the tactical RPGs, which were pretty much like Fire Emblem. And yeah,
but they also like games where you can marry computer women. So really,
let's be honest, we like
Japan,
those games too.
But we don't go out and marry them for real. There is a huge logic leap there. You're like, we like those games too. You are not going to go marry Bishonen Fujikan, who is your male protagonist in the game you're playing right now. Like, I love you, Bishonen. No,
I'm having him screen printed onto a body pillow right now. Is that not? Oh, I didn't realize.
Apparently that's not an okay thing, as it turns out.
So many holes.
Wow.
Oh, Bishonen Fujikan.
You're a horrible racist.
Jesse Cox.
At least it took an hour for the casual racism to begin.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's about time.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good going. But I don't know. My opinion on JRPGs, I actually think I like them for the most part. But I don't know. I think Persona is probably just better than most JRPGs because it breaks up the tedium of what would otherwise be there, because it balances the dungeons with the social stuff quite nicely to the point where you almost... In fact, you do prefer the social stuff to the dungeons. The dungeons are fine. I mean, JRPG-wise, it's kind of pretty standard, straightforward JRPG battle mechanics. And they're good. They're satisfying to play. And the battles don't take that long, unless, of course, it's the end boss, in which case, fuck you. But aside from that, you get to do... It contrasts very nicely with everything that's going on aside from that. Like, you're going to school, you're doing exams, you're getting grades, you're hanging out with people, you're making decisions, you're cheating on women. And, it's... Well, you can.
Normal days.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it was pretty good. The people asking which girl I got into a relationship with, all of them, because you can. It's really not that hard. You don't get penalized in any way whatsoever for dating multiple girls. You just, every now and again, you may get into a situation where things get a little bit awkward. But that's about it.
That's not good. You need to have one where at least one of the girls tries to kill you because you betrayed
Pretty
her.
much, yeah. It's
that's a must in a JRPG.
I could very much see IA doing that. That's anyone who's played Persona 4 knows how crazy a bitch she is. But yeah, it's a really, really good game. Just a straight up great game. And awesome story, great character development, fun battle mechanics, nicely paced. I think honestly, like, the ending of Golden is a little bit, because they added 2 extra months onto the end of the game, and some of that kind of drags out a little bit, because, you know, you've beaten the big bad, or at least you think you have, and then you go through all this stuff, and there's probably not, like, enough events in those 2 months to really make it worthwhile, so you essentially end up pretty much grinding social links out, where it's like, oh, I've got to go speak to this guy to get my social link rank up so I can get him to rank 10 so that I can get his 3rd Persona evolution and crap like that. It's almost like fucking Pokemon. But aside from that, the game's phenomenal. It's the best thing on the Vita by a country mile. And now I want to play some other JRPGs, and I know I'm going to be horribly disappointed by them.
I'm trying to remember. Because you were talking about how you don't really get punished for doing anything wrong in your dating life. There's a visual novel that I really wanted to play, and I was reading a review of it, and the person there's like a dating element to it, and the guy who did the review was saying that it turned out in this game that if you stayed true to one person the entire time, it gave you the most depressing, worst possible ending.
Wow.
And
all right.
Yeah, and if you cheated, then you got all the good endings. I was like, that is so weird, because it would, like, you'd be so confused at the end, like, whoa, why is everything going wrong? I was such a good person. Like, that review made me want to play it more, but I can't remember the name of it now.
Did it involve pigeons?
No, it was not.
Did you make sweet love to birds in it?
Were there really hot birds in the game?
Were there very attractive?
That means a very different thing.
Were they at a bird academy?
Were they? Was it a school specifically for birds, where you were a young girl who was a human?
A young human girl who loves birds a little too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no real follow-up to that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing other than that. I dipped into Anno again a little bit. It's difficult because I played so much of Anno 1701, and I loved that game. And I played some of Anno 1404, that was pretty good too. For those who don't know, it's essentially that game is an Age of Sail trading game where you build up towns on islands in, I think it's the Caribbean, and then you trade goods across them to build other stuff to evolve your towns, and there's some shit battles and some combat and shit, but it's mostly about trading. And then there's 2070, which is like, this is the same Anno, only it's in the future, there's nuclear weapons, submarines, you can build under the sea, and there's this big whole environmental crisis going on. And an interface from space, I have to assume, because you log into that game, and you suddenly see a bunch of shit on your screen, like, where's the learn how to play button? Because I don't understand any of this crap. It's like, special missions, this here, what is this? So, I don't know what's going on with that.
Learn how to play.
Yeah, so it seems like the mechanics are pretty similar, but they've added a bunch of stuff in that I clearly don't understand. So I need to sit down for a day with a clear head and actually figure that game out. Okay, by all means, you go do that. Because I have a feeling...
What'd she just say?
She needs to go close the blinds.
Oh.
Because she's probably being blinded by the looks of it.
Blinded by the light, wrapped up like a douche is what the lyric is not.
Mm-hmm. No, it clearly is not.
Is not.
But Anno games, yeah, really, really cool. They're on sale like 60% off a couple of days ago, and I love all of the Anno games. They took the bullshit DRM off of 2070, so it's kind of worth playing now, as far as I can tell. But I have a feeling when I get into that, I'll be sucked in again, just like I was with any of the other Anno games. Because let's be honest, there are no other good city-building games out right now. Until SimCity comes out, which is also always on DRM bullshit, then there's nothing else good to play if you want to build a city. So 2070 seems like the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and aside from that, PlanetSide, been doing some more shit with the outfit, producing propaganda videos that are clearly
I
lies.
heard you guys were losing the other day.
Oh, we lose all the time. I mean, we only have about 30, 40 people online at any given time. Like, this big casual outfit where people like play maybe once a fortnight, so it's really not that big a deal.
Once a fortnight.
But yeah, we're up against some pretty hardcore outfits that are like, oh, you guys ran away. It's like there were 200 of you and 30 of us. So you know, I think we're not going to stick around if you're going to do that. But yeah, it's fun. It's really fun, and everyone should play it. As far as I'm concerned, we're having a good laugh with it. But I think that's about it. What have you guys been playing? Have you even had the time to play anything?
I've been trying to play more League again, and the reason that I did that is because I was getting tons of messages all of a sudden saying that my voice sounds exactly like V or Vi.
Oh, the new hero champion.
Yeah. And everybody was like, "Did you voice her?" And I was like, "No. Yes, I did."
Yeah.
I don't hear it. I don't hear the similarities, but I was like, "Oh, I miss League a little bit."
That's how they hear your voice, though. I assume her voice is overtly sexy. It's like,
oh, that's just like me.
Vagina. And I think that's how they hear you. I think that's how they hear you when you talk. Every time you say dicks and butts, they hear dicks and butts. Yeah, I imagine that's what it is. I imagine
just like that.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was advertising condoms on Spotify last week. Someone was saying, like, "Is that you?" It's like, no.
That's awesome.
But it could be.
You're like, yes, it is.
Yeah, kind of should.
Look, he's looking out for your best interests.
Yeah, guys.
God, so immature.
Safe sex, everybody.
Yeah, practice it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're rubbish at it.
Now
so
they have more to go off of. Good work, Dodger.
Yeah, that's it.
You said you said safe sex, everyone. They're like, sex. I want it to be safe.
So someone's remixing it right now.
Safe sex.
Can we just have a fat beat below that, and then we'll be good. It's funny you should mention League, actually, because I just played the first game of Dota 2 that I have in 8 months last night. And you want to know why? Because there's a Bastion announcer pack. The guy from Bastion did this. He did like 1,000 lines. Like, this guy's super dedicated. He's got lines for every hero in almost every situation in the game. He's even got multiple lines for when you type noob in chat. Like, it's that in-depth.
That's awesome.
I decided I'd play a game of Dota 2, and it turns out I really like single draft. So you can matchmake for single draft, which is basically it'll pick 3 random heroes, and then you pick from that. Yeah? And so you pick whichever you think you can kind of play the best. So you get to try all the heroes out in a bit more of a casual format. And it's actually great fun. And that surprised me greatly. I was playing Spirit Breaker, who I remember from like 4 years ago on WoW Radio event we used to ban because he was super annoying. He's still super annoying in a great way. His essential sole gimmick is he will bash you to death. And he will constantly stun you over and over again. And his Q allows him to kind of charge down the lane progressively faster by targeting someone, which is great for freaking people out. Because they get a little marker above their head. So like, oh god, he's coming for me! And then they run away behind the tower. It's like, I was just doing that to get back in the lane. But I had fun with it. I might play more Dota. And Purge, who some of you may be aware is TGS, did offer to tutor us all in Dota 2. If you...
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the reason that I've never
kind of
played it, I've never played it because I find the interface like really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I sign on, I'm like,
super intimidating.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now, and then I just close it and play League because it's nice to people who have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the same problem I have. Like I want to be decent at the game, but I'm so intimidated by it. Even though I played Dota years ago, I can't remember anything. I remember the first video I did was like a year ago of the beta, and I played an Axe. There's a hero called Axe. He's actually voiced by John St. John, so he's Duke Nukem. They've got a lot of really good voice actors for Dota, actually. And I picked up an item called a Battle Fury, and this thing gives you a cleave, essentially. So it's really good for farming creeps. And I was running around with this Battle Fury, and apparently I am the worst person ever, according to r/Dota 2, as a result of doing that. I was like, what are you doing? That's the wrong build. Why are you promoting this? Like, I wasn't promoting it. I was just playing. Leave me alone. So
Yeah.
I'm now super intimidated by Dota 2 because apparently if you do one thing wrong in a video, then you are actually killing the game.
Yeah.
So
No one will want to play this game after seeing that horrible build.
yeah.
No, seriously, that's the difference. LoL is nothing like that. LoL is so much more user friendly. No one calls anybody out.
What?
And
No, that's not true.
Yes, they do. You've played 2 games of it, and I was shouting at you for one of them.
I was being sarcastic.
I was gonna say.
Your
So
sarcasm's
easy
just
for
like
you to troll us.
yeah, because I know you'd actually legitimately say something that stupid. So.
Thank you. Yep.
Anytime, bro. You know I'm here for you.
Oh man.
Whatever. I'd like to point out that being the best player at League of Legends ever,
He's pretty good.
I feel like it's fun, but it needs a little more in-depth hardness. That's why hopefully Dota 2 will take it to the next level and get people to like be really good at stuff.
There we go. I'm already being attacked on Twitter for playing Dota. Welcome to why MOBAs are fucking terrible in every way.
Dota?
Yeah, someone just like went after me for it. It's like, oh, League is so much better, denying is a terrible, unintuitive mechanic. Shut up. God. You care so much about the video games other people play.
All these game bigots. Come on, guys. Just play whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty
Chill
much.
out.
Just don't shout at me about it. It's like, oh, play this game. It's like, I don't care what games you play. Go away.
I like watching chat just catch up to us. They're very angry. They're like, how dare you defend League of Legends? I'm like,
League of Legends doesn't need any fucking defending. They've got 70 million accounts. I'm pretty sure they're all right.
Yeah.
And as for Dota 2, it is the highest played game on Steam by a country mile. They're also all right. And that game isn't even out yet, and it's the most highly played game on Steam every day by a country mile. So, yeah.
Dude, the championship had so many concurrent viewers. It was insane. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
I watched that. And
Didn't
I
even know
actually
people
liked
cared
it.
this much about Dota.
Yeah, well, they do, especially like in European countries and in China. They fucking love Dota.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoy watching Dota more than I enjoy watching League. Like, League is, to me, like a horrible clusterfuck of way too many abilities. The funny thing is, I think I like playing League more because you always have 4 abilities. Yeah? You always have 4. And sometimes more than that. In Dota, there's times when a hero only has 1 ability because everything else is a passive of some sort. Yeah? So, playing it to me seems less interesting because, like, Spirit Breaker, for instance, has 2 activatable abilities and 2 passives. So he can do his charge, and he can do his ultimate, which basically teleports you behind them and bashes them, which is a guaranteed stun, which is great, because you can angle it right to knock them back away from their tower and shit. It's super satisfying. But everything else is a passive. So it's like you get more damage for your movement speed, and you get a chance to stun on hit. And there's a couple... Axe has a bunch of passives. There's actually a bunch of other guys that have a bunch of passives as well. So, yeah, Skeleton King. That's a great example. He only has 1 ability. Everything else is a passive. So it's much easier to watch Dota because as soon as a team fight happens, you don't have 50 abilities all firing off at once, which is just a giant clusterfuck of color. Yeah? It's like you vomit forth cartoony stuff onto the screen and then expect people to actually figure out what's going on. Whereas with Dota, there's less abilities going off and the abilities are more well-defined. Like, I love if you play, I think it's Earthshaker, or if you play Demon Witch. Their 2 abilities, the spike line that he does, and I think it's... I don't know what the hell the name of the thing is. I can't remember anymore. Where he bashes the ground and this big split comes in the ground. That looks incredible. Like, it looks really, really good. Whereas in League, that's kind of not the case. But, again, that's my opinion on it. I think I like playing League more, although I'm coming around to Dota. And I like watching Dota more. And Awesome Naughts is better than both of those games. So, there you go.
I need to play that game someday.
got a clusterfuck of color.
Clusterfuck of color.
Hashtag clusterfuck of color.
That's the latest. It's a concept album from Frankenstein Joe.
It is.
It's a double album. It's 2 CDs. You've got to play it in a very specific order. Like, basically, the order that you play the tracks is actually the Fibonacci sequence.
It also, if you press play at the moment you start the Lethal Weapon series, from movie 1 to movie 4, it lines up perfectly. True story.
There you go.
Lethal Weapon. Go watch that movie.
So, did anyone else play anything else this week?
Not anything like new that I don't always play.
I am away from a computer that can play games, so I've done
You said you were
nothing.
going to download Devil's Attorney though onto iOS. Have you did that?
I am. I don't. I haven't. I instead of playing games, I decided to watch all of Breaking Bad for the first time.
I need to get
And
around to that.
in maybe like a day and a half, I watched almost all of it. All that was on Netflix. I was like, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that
Ladies, you're welcome.
that reminds me of when I first got into The Shield. Like, I just lived in my room for days.
Dude, The Shield was a great series.
Yeah, it was legitimately awesome. Like,
When he threw the grenade in the thing, I was like, what?
Oh! Yeah. That was super crazy. Yeah, that's pretty...
That's about as descriptive as I can get with that episode, because I don't want to spoil it, because it's like a major point. The Shield's a terrific series. Then Glenn Close comes, it's like, I hate you,
It's one of the only series that I've ever seen where I've watched 7 series of it. Yeah, the whole lot. And it ties the first episode together with the last episode really well.
Oh, yes.
Really well. And also the fact that it never... There's not a bad series of The Shield, in my opinion. Like, every series is good. There are some that are better than others, but there is no duff season at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas, I don't know, I got sick of 24 in season 3.
That was the first show on FX that was like, we're taking it balls to the wall. We're going to have violence, and we're going to have nasty sex, and we're going to have swearing. Like, we're going to say shit on... Like, that was one of the first shows to be like, balls to it.
Ton of racism as well. You know, realistic racism as well. So that was actually a great series. That's easily one of my favorite of all time. Wonderful series.
Well, if you like that, you will like Breaking Bad, because it is...
I'll get it.
Oh my god, Breaking Bad is so good.
But
you will be tense always.
I like that. At least I used to like that more than I do now. I think I'm too stressed out now to really enjoy that stuff.
So the problem with the series is, from episode 1 to episode 2, you get it's literally the end of episode 1 starts on episode 2, right? It's like that kind of series. So then from that point on, you just keep watching it, because you're like, whatever happens next happens immediately afterwards. And you're like, son of a bitch.
I hate it when they do that. It's very compelling though, certainly. Yeah, I need to watch Breaking Bad. Those asking, do you have to watch anything to watch The Shield? No, just watch The Shield. There's nothing that leads into The Shield. So it's not like saying, oh, well, in order to watch Boston Legal, you probably should have seen The Practice, even though it's not really that relevant. No, you don't need to. It's like nobody remembers The Practice exists.
I really, really want season 2 of American Horror Story to be on Netflix.
Oh, no. See, here's the thing. You know how season 1 is like, this is a crazy show. Season 2 is like, why do we let normal conventions constrain us? Let's go crazier. It's nuts. It's to the point where it's almost borderline too much. You're like,
yeah.
Really? We're going there now, huh? Oh, yes. American Horror Story has jumped 80 sharks.
Oh, wow.
The sharks. It's crazy.
Oh, man. I really liked season 1. I thought the finale was kind of weird, but...
Really?
No, but I mean, like, in the context of the show. Like, the craziness that happens in the show, you're like, well, I like this craziness because it's all within context. But, like, the finale, I was like, all right. But I really want to watch season 2. But now I'm scared. What if I hate it?
That would be awful.
It would be.
March, season 3 of Game of Thrones. Yeah.
I can't wait.
And what I'll do is the same thing I do with every Game of Thrones series. I'll wait till it ends, then watch the whole thing in a day. Because I have to watch the next... That's Game of Thrones is a very similar thing where you've got to watch the next episode immediately after it. I can't wait. Kidding me?
I cherish our Game of Thrones nights. They are very special things.
You get together with the Warpstone dudes. They all argue about who's supposed to set up what and what time we're supposed to show up.
They all argue over which character is going to do what, and I'm like, I know, but I'm not going to say. You're no fun.
Oh, Jesse.
Yeah, that I can see being fun. On my own, not so much. The missus has kind of a totally different taste in stuff to me now. It's like I'm too stressed to watch anything dramatic. Like, okay, so she goes and watches My Little Pony and fucking old movies. So
We
Well,
have
My
a
Little Pony
crazy
and
cat lady.
Casablanca all day or day.
That's pretty much it. Although it's breakfast at Tiffany's mostly, so
Oh,
that's how
okay.
it is.
I have
Chibi
a mug
Warmonger,
with
post
breakfast
that
at
picture.
Tiffany's on it.
Post that picture again. We have Crazy Cat Lady Dodger. It is up,
Excellent.
and it
We'll show that after the break. But yes, you should play Devil's Attorney because it's great.
I
Anyway,
will.
I think now will be a good time for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about. There's pretty much almost no news, but we have found a couple of articles. We're also going to be looking at some of the games that we're hopefully looking forward to in 2013. We might even talk about that. So, ladies and gents, you are watching the Game Station podcast with even less games than usual. It's the end of the year. Give us a break. Come on. It's Boxing Day.
It's Boxing Day. We can do
Yeah.
what we want.
We
We have to
can.
return our suits of armor at some point anyway.
Indeed. We're going to do that during the break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Game Station podcast. Jesse, you're looking quizzical. Why is that?
Well, two things. One, because my parents are in the next room, I don't have to wait for an email from them to yell at me for forgetting something. So I was scolded politely
Okay.
for not mentioning that my mom had gotten me speakers, like a little tiny speaker that goes to my iMajigger that is a Bluetooth thing. So it exists. I just don't know where it's at. So I have to mention that before
Okay.
I am told again that I am a failure of a son. And and now she'll come in here like, I didn't say that. And then I was reading my bizarre facts book. I just found something very interesting that I thought I would share with you.
Yes.
According to the 2005 Gallup poll, 24% of Americans and 19% of Britons believe extraterrestrials have visited Earth at some point in the past. Men are more receptive to the idea of alien visits than women are. Their number one response? More likely to have sex with aliens.
What?
That's their reasoning. Look, I'm more likely to believe there are aliens because I want to bang them. That's best book ever.
You did it, males. Well done.
Embarrassed my gender at times.
I like how that's the thought process of men. Like, I wonder if there are aliens and if we can do them.
Is it like Star Trek? Do they look like humans or what?
Are they
A lot
like
of people
know
of
these
Nubular
things.
Prime probably disagree.
but green? And if so, can I still bang them?
Maybe the physiology will be just different enough that they can't get pregnant. Perfect.
Here's what makes it even better. Now I imagine all scientists are just out for space booty. That's why
Pretty much.
they've gone into science specifically just to get laid in space.
All extraterrestrial researchers are just like, I'm gonna get so much tail.
Well, one of them's ahead of the curve. He's already in space. I assume you have been reading and listening to the stuff from that guy on Reddit who is also in space.
No.
No? Okay, so the guy recorded a song in space. He's been doing all sorts of stuff. He is also a Redditor, so he's wasting a lot of time on Reddit while in space.
He's
Well,
trying.
what else would he do?
Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing else up there to do, is there? It's like he recorded the ambient noise of the space station. It's pretty fucking loud. You know, it would be pretty tricky.
How is
I
there
think.
ambient noise in the space station when there's no sound in space?
This is not how it works, idiots. Inside the space station, where you know there's air,
Okay.
the
No, all right.
sound
no,
waves.
No, look. I'm just saying. I didn't know. You
Yeah,
weren't
he
specific.
went outside, of course, without a suit on, just to check what the sound was like.
Look. He's trying to impress the space babes. All right. He's like, I need no suit, space babes. Let's do it. That's again. I imagine that's how it works now.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
A+, you did it.
Yeah, so I think it's only a matter of time before the first space bang occurs.
The first space bang.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
I
Space
guarantee
Jam,
you.
only it's R-rated.
I
Okay.
guarantee that's happened already.
It's pretty much
They'll
pretty
get
much
4
the same.
stars.
Pretty much get the balls in the hole. You know how it is.
I guarantee if there was a man and a woman on the space station, it's happened at least once for science. I'm going to go that far. Even if they were happily
It'll
married
be
back
so
up.
messy. No.
What happens on space station stays on
Stays
space
the-
station.
Well, quite literally, because it's floating around everywhere and you can't get rid of it. Someone had to do it. It might as well be me.
Just saying. It's happened already. Scientists have already tested that. It already occurred.
It's important science, man. I mean, on the way to Mars, there's no way you're gonna spend over a year in a metal box and not need some kind of relief.
right? But everyone would have to be sterile on that entire mission because we cannot have space babies. America is not willing to put space babies in space.
I have to wonder what the citizenship of a space baby would be, especially considering they're on the way to Mars at the time.
If
Yeah.
Dead Space is any indication, space babies are horrifying.
No tentacles. It's gross.
Space
Oh,
babies
man.
are awful. We will not have them. There'll be no space babies on my hands.
Draw the line here.
Yes.
Yes.
We need Captain Picard dealing with space babies.
Picard, where are you?
He has
We need your
experience in
counsel.
such matters.
Yes.
Okay, let's get away from that topic and actually talk about news. There isn't a huge amount
Last
of it.
week-
Not a huge amount, although what we can do is we can talk about Project Godus, or Goddess, whichever you prefer.
Oh, yes.
So there's a Peter Molyneux thing, where it's like, hey, we're gonna make Populous again, and we're gonna ask you for about $500,000 to do it. And as it turns out, people were willing to give him that. And I believe the Kickstarter was funded, in fact, up to £526,000. So we're not even talking about dollars here. £526,000, which is about $800,000. And this is it's Populous, essentially. So, yeah.
So does this fall under the category, we've talked about this before, of you don't really need that money, sir?
Well, this is why I wanted to bring this up. Because
We've talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Like
think
the general idea.
Yeah, we came up with this was something we were kind of murmuring about when people like, say, In Exile came around and said, well, you want to remake Wasteland? It's like, well, you know, we know you're not a big developer, but you are still kind of a legit developer with some of your own funding.
Right.
And now, essentially, Godus, I think, or Goddess, however you prefer, is pretty much the biggest example of where someone who has a lot of money has come to Kickstarter and funded a game that they wanted to make.
Right.
So the question, I suppose, there becomes, especially for a lot of people, how acceptable is that really? Is that okay? Is it not okay?
I think the excuse a lot of times is, well, even though he could get production help from someone else, if he does it through Kickstarter, then he doesn't have to answer to anybody, and then we'll actually get his vision. But
Well,
I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it.
Peter Molyneux is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire. Like, he has a lot of money.
Yeah,
If he wanted
Yeah.
to make Project Godus for £450,000, he could snap his fingers
Could've
and that
done
would
it.
then occur. So the question is, when you have a lot of money, is it okay for you to go and say to the public, we really want to make Populous again, sort of? I mean, it is Populous. I mean, just look at the prototype. It's fucking Populous. There's no question about that. So we're going to ask you for the money rather than us pony up the money
Fund it
ourselves and then kind of take the risk. So it seems to me that the notion is we're going to completely take the risk out of our development because you just funded our shit, and then we can sell it for a profit later, right?
Totally.
Does it work in the same way of them going to other investors and saying, all these people wanted to see this game, how about you invest as well?
I'm pretty sure they didn't need that. Like, the game they're making is not that complicated. It essentially looks like a mobile game. Admittedly, the only footage we have is a prototype stuff. So, I mean, this thing is coming out on iOS and Android as well as Linux, Mac, and PC. So, it doesn't seem like it would need a huge amount of people. And in fact, the development team only seems to be like 10 or 15 at most. And they could probably make this game in a year. So, I think, you know, $800,000 for a year's project with like 10 devs is actually totally doable.
Then is it buzz? Could it be that he's trying to get buzz, like people to talk about, like, oh yeah, I've invested in this and it's gonna be awesome and it's gonna come out whenever. I mean, there has to be a reason besides money, because the dude does not need money. And I'm gonna hope against hope that he's not a total douche and is
I was
like,
gonna say that
I'm
he's
just
not
gonna
like
spend any of
that
mine.
dickhole.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for another reason.
The publicity angle is a good one, because there's no question that this did generate a lot of hype for this game. And at the end of the day, it got funded as well. 17,000 backers funded this thing, which that proves two things. One, people really do still care about God games, and two, people are willing to throw money at them in order to get one made of, again, what is essentially a more advanced version of Populous. Right. So I think the question then becomes, rather than should people that have money go to Kickstarter, surely it really should be, Well, you put your idea up on Kickstarter, and if people think that it's a good idea, they're going to throw money at you. And it's really entirely up to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one way of looking at it. But then the other way of looking at it is, well, you're sucking up potential money that could have been given to other projects that actually need it. And now $800,000 is in the pocket of you to make Goddess, even though you could have made it pretty much at any time. And you didn't have, the excuse of, but publishers wouldn't have funded it is irrelevant when the head of your studio is a multimillionaire. It's like saying, it's like Valve, on a larger scale, it'd be like Valve going to Kickstarter when fucking Gabe Newell is a billionaire, quite literally, saying, oh, well, we want to make a mobile game that's going to cost like $800,000 and it's going to be a mobile remake of the original Half-Life. They would not have to go to a publisher or to Kickstarter to make that happen.
They just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they just do it. So, I mean, I would say 22 Cans is certainly on a smaller scale, but Peter Molyneux is still a multimillionaire. So that is something to consider there. So, that is a bunch of opinions that I've heard. The question is, where do you kind of stand on the issue? Because I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
Yeah. It's hard because there's definitely the angle of, well, I mean, people gave him money. They didn't have to. They just, they did. They funded it, and he winds up with publicity that way. So, but at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, you can get publicity other ways, and I feel like Kickstarter is for people that need the push and doesn't need the push.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the name of the service, isn't it? Kickstarter is for a fairly obvious reason. Jesse, what are your thoughts on that? You've been kind of gulping for a while. I assume you've been reading the materials on it, but what do you reckon?
Okay, no, so I just went to Kickstarter, right, to go check stuff out.
Yep.
And I was scrolling through, and I'm on my laptop, and I rarely use the actual keyboard on this laptop because I'm all like, I hate laptops, but
yeah,
I'm pressing up, and suddenly, I shit you not, if I could share my screen with you, I would. I have, hello, welcome to the lean back mode, our brand new super secret full screen internet party just for your keyboard to navigate.
What?
And it's on Kickstarter? Not even joking.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Me neither.
I could turn my camera around, I'd show you. I don't even know what this is a nonsense thing.
You can get a mirror.
I do have a mirror. Hold on. I need to unhook this.
I didn't actually think he would do that. But...
Let's do it. Yes.
Oh,
can you see that?
Or, you could just turn the camera around. I thought you were on a laptop camera. That's why.
I am on a laptop camera.
You just detached it. You're not on a laptop.
No, that was a plug. That was the plug for the laptop. Can you see that?
But I thought that the camera was built into the screen of the laptop. Apparently not.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, hang on. That's a mirror. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to say.
I'm like, hang on a second. That's a pretty
TV.
clean mirror. I expect...
you blacked out for a few seconds
I'm
there.
so sorry.
And came to and the mirror was there.
Ah! How did that happen?
Like, I don't know what that screen is. I've never seen that before in my life. But
Go to Kickstart and press the up key. Oh, wow. Okay.
That was a thing.
Super secret full screen internet party. I have no idea what the point of this is.
Neither do I. It was very weird.
Stop watching videos. Actually, I shouldn't do this because this is going to come through the stream, so let's not do that.
All right, anyway. Oh, it's just for the Kickstarter videos.
Yeah, it apparently allows you to easily browse through videos.
Oh, yes, I have
I was like,
seen
what have I stumbled upon? For a minute, I thought I had
now.
stumbled upon the dark secret of Kickstarter, and there was like, welcome, Agent 7. The Kickstarter initiative is proceeding as planned. Millions of dollars.
Been filtering information to your subconscious mind for years.
Holy crap!
Welcome.
I thought they were gonna activate me, and I'd go on a killing spree.
You've been a sleeper agent for years, and you had no idea.
That's fine, Molyneux. Holy crap!
Yes.
No, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to figure out what the reasoning is. I would assume it's publicity's sake, because people who are investing, I guess they get stuff from it anyway. Like usually, like they get a copy of the game or whatever. But still, if it was good, they'd buy it to begin with. I don't know. He's the master of overhyping everything. So
that is true.
Making
things seem like spiritual experiences and shit.
I'll say I did not invest in his project, but
I didn't either. In fact, I didn't even promote it because people asked me to push it, and I said, look, it's Peter fucking Molyneux. He doesn't need my help to push anything. If he wants something made, he will get it made. He's one of the few people in the world that can make that happen. So it's really up to him. And I was just curious to sit back and see if people would be willing to throw money at Peter Molyneux. And it turns out that they very much are still willing to do that, especially because the narrative that goes along with this is, well, the only reason that you've been disappointed by the last 10 years of games that I've made is because of the publishers, man. And I know he's British, so we could go with the line. It's like, it's because of the publishers, mate. That's more Australian. What the fuck? Where the hell did that come from? But yeah, Peter Molyneux is now Australian.
You're forgetting your world.
Oh, god damn it. I haven't been there for so long. It's because of the publishers, mate. But it's...
Tom, you'll be speaking a southern accent before too long.
I fucking hope
not.
Anyway,
Every time he tries to speak Cockney, it'll just be all wrong.
All right, eh?
Oh, how you doing? But anyway, there you go. See, that's fine. But I haven't lost it yet. Anyway, the thing is that he has been pushing this narrative, as has kind of all of 22 Cans. The whole notion is like, I'm going to go with 22 Cans. I'm going to make 22 crazy experimental games that publishers would never do. My first is going to be, I don't remember the name of it. I just call it Shit Cube.
The Cube game?
Yeah, it's Shit Cube. But that's his first game, which is barely even a game. Okay, great. And then it's like, oh, we're going to kickstart Project Goddess, and there won't be any interference from the publishers this time, and I'm going to actually deliver on all my promises. You already had the ability to do that. There were a lot of big major publishers you were with when you made your good games as well.
That's what I always thought was funny is in his really good games, he would always say, you're right. He would always be like, the publishers interfered. I was like, what you talked about sounded amazing. What asshole publisher would be like, let's not do that. Let's not create something wonderful.
It's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact that he overpromises and underdelivers pretty much every time. And I think that in this case, it would be hard to overpromise what is essentially just a Populous remake. That's pretty difficult. I'm looking at the concept. It's like, yeah, this is Populous in every way, and you've thrown in a couple of elements that were in Populous at the beginning, but essentially it is mostly Populous and Populous 2. It's pretty hard for you to fuck that up. But I'm sure he might find a way. Honestly, they're
so tiny. Sorry, keep going.
I don't. Those are actually regular sized jammy dodgers. What people don't know is the dodge is about 3 feet tall, IRL. So it's just a perspective trick.
She is roughly the size of the character she voices in League of Legends. It's true. It's true.
Oh man.
If it's the TGS, we're gonna eat some crap time. I'm gonna sit here and eat this pineapple.
Do it. I was already eating Pocky
I'm
at the
getting the
beginning of
Fox's
the
Wonders
show.
out again.
So good.
Yeah.
I love pineapple. It's so delicious.
I have a feeling this is turning into more of kind of a rampage against Peter Molyneux's previous work than anything else, but it is.
Well, we have nothing to go on, but it's
relevant.
Work.
Yeah, it's relevant, right? Because the guy just created a studio whereby he said, "I'm gonna make what I want now." And we're like, okay, cool. Let's see if you can deliver, because now you have no excuses anymore. You can't pull the whole publisher angle. And then the first thing they do after making a Shit Cube is they go and... I'm sorry, I think it's a good name for it. It's certainly better than Curiosity. I'm not remotely curious about what's inside that thing. But the second thing they do
is... love, TB.
Yeah.
Is that what's inside there? Love?
I haven't played it.
It's just another cube.
Love looks a lot like a pile of shit, strangely enough.
What a wonderful
Weird how that
analogy.
is.
Yeah. But, and then they go straight to Kickstarter to say, well, we want to make Populous again. Well, it's like, well, this isn't really new and interesting. I thought the whole 22 Cans thing was, you're going to make a bunch of new and interesting stuff rather than saying, oh, you know what would be really good if we rehashed one of our previous games that has a cult following and we didn't have to pay any money for the privilege of doing so. In fact, we'll ask for your money to do it and then we'll sell it. And that's pretty smart. I don't begrudge anyone really going to Kickstarter. I think my opinion is that regardless of what I think about Peter Molyneux's previous work and the notion of going to Kickstarter when you're already a multimillionaire, at the end of the day, it's a free market kind of thing where people can go and support whatever the fuck they please. So if they want to go and throw money at Peter Molyneux, that is their business.
I imagine that's what happened.
Yeah.
Just money. People just threw money like, take that, Peter.
Pretty much.
Just walking down the street.
Shower me.
That's essentially what happened. If they want to do that, that's entirely up to them. The way that you should treat Kickstarter is not as an investor. Like, some people do that, and then they're like, oh, well, I want all the rights and privilege and invested. No, it's not an investment. You're essentially not protected by anything. It's like, the terms of service say they've got to provide the product, but really, who's going to give a shit? Especially if they just pick up and run off with the money.
Yeah, the terms of service don't. The terms of service say like if they don't provide the product, tough shit, deal with it.
Yeah.
They say it may damage your reputation. They then say, and it may also open you up to a court action. It's like, yeah, but Kickstarter's not going to be the one doing it. Like,
Yeah.
Kickstarter is not going to go
Yeah,
and sue
it's-
those people or hold them to account. That's going to be up to you guys with a class action, and good luck organizing that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to just turn around and say, as long as the company can prove they tried to make the product and failed, then they can just say, well, we spent it on what we said we'd spend it on. As long as they didn't run off and buy an island around the coast of Fiji or whatever with it, then everything's fine.
We needed it for Molyneux Castle where we were going to build the game. Duh.
Molyneux Castle was promised to be this 100-story wonderful thing. It ended up being like a 2-story motel that was then rented out to Best Western. That's Molyneux Towers right there.
Molyneux Towers is a Best Western.
I
really want to start a Kickstarter for like a castle for myself now. Like, guys, I need this castle. I think we can all agree.
But you're not buying a castle, you're building one.
I've got this great idea. So we make a game. Yep.
Uh-huh.
We'll put this on Kickstarter. It's called Molyneux Towers. And the whole point is to try and convince as many people as possible to buy a game and then only be able to put about 10% of the promised features actually in it. And you have to pick from a drop-down list which features you do, and then you've got to kind of simulate the life and development of Peter Molyneux and all that stuff, and then see how many games you can release before people stop buying them. And there's a high scoreboard where it's like, I released 12 terrible games before people stopped buying them. And you have this kind of world competition where you become this master manipulator. I would buy the shit out of that. I'm sorry, I would.
I hope he watches our podcast.
I don't hate the guy as a person. I just hate the fact that he constantly overpromises and underdelivers. It's criticism of his work, not of him.
He's not watching, and two, if he is watching, he's watching for Dodger. Because when she talks, all he hears is like, dicks and butts. And he's like, Peter Molyneux, like.
What?
What is wrong with you?
What? He does. Dicks and butts.
It does sound like an amazing game. The result, of course, will be highly disappointing. So there you go. So I don't know. I don't really have a problem with companies going on as long as they're kind of open and honest about it. Like if he went on under a pseudonym and it ended up being Peter Molyneux, because there was that story a while ago where the Obsidian guy said there were a bunch of publishers that approached us to kind of go on Kickstarter and pretend that we're making a game for ourselves, and when in reality it's kind of publisher-backed, basically just to raise a bunch of money and awareness as a marketing campaign. And I'm like, well,
that's what it sounds like, yeah. It sounds like this was just for awareness.
Well, it succeeded. We're talking about it right now, right? So evidently it worked pretty well. So I'm sorry. I just went on Kickstarter and I found Craft Cthulhu card holders and displays and component trays. This would actually be pretty awesome for my Dominion set, I think.
Nerds.
And
I played so much Ascension yesterday while waiting for those movies. Yeah. It was
great.
Best.
Oh my god.
I missed that game so much. Oh, hi,
Wait, did you go see all the movies in one day?
I saw Hobbit at a dine-in theater on Christmas Eve, and then on actual Christmas.
Did you go to the one on Maxella?
Mm-hmm.
God, I've wanted to go there so bad. Flip table. Bunch babies.
No, let's go. No, we'll go. It'll be okay.
It's too late.
No, it's fine.
Too late.
Don't worry.
Too late. Your fake internet hugs do not affect me.
And then yesterday I saw Django and Les Mis. We wanted to see Les Mis and get all like emotional, and then go see Django and be really excited about people dying, and then leave it on a high note. But we wound up having to flip it because there were so many people going to the movies that Les Mis was sold out until like 10:30 at night. And it was bad. Jeannie cried through literally the entire movie, Les Mis. I was like, there's so much crying happening around me. I can't. Hi, kitty.
That's so funny. Was she crying so much that she couldn't write up a sheet of what we're supposed to talk about today?
No.
No,
I know she's watching, so I'm gonna give her a hard time.
All of the TGS. Well, I'm gonna have to edit the podcast today myself because apparently all of the TGS are like, well, we're not working till like the new year. It's like, all your channels are though, right? Like we're working like normal because if we don't make content, we don't make any money. So just an idea.
Oh god.
So I don't have to do all
I
the
do not
editing.
look forward to talking to her. She'll be
Can
very
I
mad at me.
sneak subliminal messages into the podcast that says TGS is awful, TGS is lazy? Just sneak them in.
No.
I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be wonderful.
Like Fight Club style, where you
Yeah.
just take out like split seconds of frames
Yeah.
and replace them
Yeah,
with penises.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's 30 frames per second, so you can't technically do subliminal messages, but you can do ones that are like that. People are like, did they just? And that's pretty cool.
Every time I watch Coffee Time, that's all I'm like. I'm like, did she just say butts?
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Like, it's weird, and then I keep watching, and I just can't stop.
Well, congratulations. You're paying Dodger a bunch of money for the privilege of wasting
Thanks
your
for
time.
the money, Jesse.
Thanks for the cash. Fuck you.
That's what I imagine it is.
That should be
The cat.
that could be my outro for every video, and I think people might
Should.
still watch it. But I think that may be going a little bit too extreme.
It should be you draped in a, let's say, American flag, because British, they're too classy for this. I'm
That's
draped
right.
in an American flag with fireworks and a bald eagle on your shoulder, and be like, thanks for the cash.
Fuck you.
In the back, it's like dun 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 dun.
Yep.
How not
That's
to
your
run your
outro.
YouTube channel 101.
And then you like click the links below, bitch, and there's just like links pop up. It'd be amazing.
Every one of them's for like some kind of Ponzi referral scheme. Oh, Jesus.
Wait, what was your cookie name? What was the cookie name, Jesse?
Some cookie.
Some cookie.
Some cookie.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was the bad translation of some article.
I was gonna
right?
say absolute cookie, but that sounded way
Some
too
cookie.
intense. I was like, it's not
that's been
absolute.
done. That's been done so much.
Absolute wafer. Some cookie.
Some cookie.
There's so much more we can do.
Well, complete cookie used to be the one that we did, and now it's some cookie because of that article.
Some cookie. The best part of that is it's like some cookie. It makes sense. It's the total of cookies.
Yeah.
It's
It's a really
Brilliant.
bad translation. It's great.
some
Oh man, I love it.
Uh,
That's just always gonna be like the American you in my mind.
some cookie.
Some cookie.
Yeah,
Some cookie.
Oh
hard
man.
to argue with. So, you want to hear about more crowdfunded bullshit? Because I do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do it.
All right. So, we can debate.
You can
as-
only talk about this if afterward you tell your chinchilla story again that you told us while we were doing sound check.
Yeah, I can. It's not that interesting, but I can
Okay,
do
cool.
it. All right. Anyway, so this is on the subject of Black Isle. Black Isle, the developer, supposedly, I say supposedly for a very good reason, because it's not really the same developer anymore at all, who made wonderful, wonderful games such as Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights and stuff like that. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, Black Isle games were phenomenal. Now, Black Isle's website relaunched about a week or so ago with a crowdfunding scheme for something called Project V13, which is a post-apocalyptic game they're trying to supposedly develop, and may or may not have had anything to do with Fallout Online that they're not allowed to even make anymore or whatever. So the weird thing about this is they started this thing up, and they didn't do it on Kickstarter. They did it themselves. And there are no rewards whatsoever for actually backing this thing. None.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you count forum access and a fucking avatar as a reward.
Forum access.
Yeah. There is no total displayed anywhere, so there's no way to actually track how much has been given to this thing. And there is no way to receive a copy of the game by pledging, even if you give them $10,000. And apparently they're just asking for money on the basis of them being Black Isle, even though they're really kind of not. There's only two of the original team in it. That's Chris Taylor and Marco Green. And people like Brian Fargo and
dummies.
and-
Like,
I don't
this
know.
is not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Avalon and Brian Fargo, who are kind of important and are working on their own decent Kickstarter projects, they have no part in this whatsoever. So
Right.
I don't even know what's going on with this, but it would appear to me that
Are
quite-
people spending money on it?
some people have, at least we think. The problem is we
What do
don't
you
we
think?
don't well we don't know because there's no bar on the website or anything like that. So it's impossible to know how many people are actually giving money. The whole thing is fucking ridiculous.
So weird. Like, lack of information just equals to people feeling like kind of skeezed out. And I
Yeah.
don't see why people don't realize that when they're putting together something like that. Like, you have to make everything see-through. Otherwise, people are going to feel scammed.
Yeah, they're basically fundraising for nothing at all. Like, there's nothing on display. There is no, and I do mean absolutely no benefit whatsoever to actually supporting this thing. None of the tiers actually give you money. There's a list of names on the front page, and I don't even know if any of these are legitimate guys. And I'm pretty sure one of them
I like
isn't.
to think that they just made up names and put them there.
Yeah. I went to project supporters.
Arthur Arbuckle.
And I just, what the hell is happening? Like, what is this crap? It almost it would almost make me think that someone camped the domain name, waited for it to expire, then put up a fake Black Isle page to try and scam people out of money. But no, it is apparently legitimately Black Isle, or at least what's left of it that are doing this. And they had some... They also decided some really, really dumb responses to this. Yeah, like they got super pissy about it on Facebook, and the project update is actually still there. If you go to the website,
Won't give us your money?
Click.
Fine, we don't want your
well,
money.
Jesse, go click on updates on the website and go and check out update number 2, and see if that doesn't seem to be ridiculously petulant to you, and probably not the sort of thing you should say to someone you're trying to get money from.
Hold on, it's not loading. What's this stupid site?
I've probably broken it now.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Wow, I can't even copy paste from this page. What the hell? What kind of website doesn't let you copy paste?
What the butts?
That's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It's down. So that's.
Hang on. I'm trying to view the page source. Apparently, all of this stuff is in some kind of weird, like, Flash interface or something. So I can't actually copy paste the quote. Let me read it for you then, because I'm pretty sure they can't stop me from doing that. Update number 2. Why you shouldn't donate. Something you should think about before donating or telling your friends to donate. You might be the cause of a small number of people sitting in their cramped, dark, shelter depressed because they're not sitting in their cramped, dark... I assume they're just... That's got to be Fallout, because apparently they're not allowed to talk about that.
It's finally up. Yeah.
Yeah, dark Fallout shelter depressed because they're not sitting in their cramped, dark Fallout for real, because the world didn't really end. Got that? Some people won't be happy you're helping. So if you have no compassion for those apocalyptics that want it all to come down around our ears but not theirs, then you probably shouldn't put in a contribution. But if those people sitting in their ivory dungeons annoy the hell out of you with their barrels of water, stacks of freeze-dried and smug attitudes, then maybe you should just empty the bank account on this project just to spite them. I'm like...
Oh,
what?
no, what?
Who wrote that? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. I assume he's trying to insult people, but it's so badly written that it's really hard to figure out.
Because Ivy Towers is too good for them.
Ivory dungeons.
They're in their dungeons because they don't leave their basements. You got them. So dumb.
Speaking to the right demographic. You did it.
You totally know how to talk to the nerds who are going to donate to you. Giant douchebags. Holy crap.
Oh,
This
no.
is absolutely awful.
Everybody messing up.
I don't know, man. It's like we were working on a playable version of PV-13, which would have gone in a very different direction, but had to take a deep breath and throw out their previous design work. We're back with a new vision. It's like, what is your new vision? You don't have one. There's nothing on the website at all. The horrible video that you put up, the Mayan Apocalypse replacement program, shows fuck all other than a few pieces of concept art. We don't know what this game is, what it's supposed to be, and you don't get anything whatsoever for supporting it. So why in the world would you? It's super dumb in every way. Absolutely dreadful.
Uh-oh. Update 3, though. I mean, come on. Take a deep breath, guys. Take a deep breath. Wait, what? So, okay, so the timeline of the updates is update 1 was, hey guys, we need to be serious about this. So we're making a game. I know it's negative PR, but be serious about it. Update 2, a day later, is, what you just
Them
read,
going
which is
crazy.
like, why you shouldn't, yeah. Then update 3, which is the exact same day, which was like, whoa, guys, take a deep breath. We were working on a previous version of P13, or PV13, whatever the hell that is, which would have gone a very different direction.
Yeah.
We had to take a deep breath and throw out that previous design
But
work.
we don't know anything about that. All we know is essentially that
I was gonna say.
they were at one point working on Fallout Online, but apparently aren't allowed to do that anymore because of trademark reasons and shit. So they're now making Project 13 or whatever it is, and we don't know anything about the game. And, this whole believe in Black Isle thing is bullshit. As people have accurately pointed out, there is barely anyone from Black Isle still in Black Isle. All of the good guys, all of the guys that really did all of this stuff, are within Exile, and they're with Obsidian. And both of those guys have run highly successful Kickstarters by showing us a whole bunch of stuff and saying, you know what, we actually have the pedigree to make this work, and we have a realistic system whereby we will reward you if you give us money. And you know what? It worked out really well for both of them, and this, on the other hand, isn't.
I don't understand why any company would ever think that when they already don't know what the original design was, it doesn't change anything to say, oh, well, we threw out our previous plan and now we're working on a new plan. It's like, this still doesn't tell me anything. That doesn't tell me dick. Like, that's still just nothing replaced by nothing.
Well, at the end of Update 3, they finally start talking about what the actual game is. And apparently it's what they're trying to do. It's still super vague, which I love this.
Uh-oh.
You have small ruins and a few survivors, and you forge a new town and city, and you get to choose what to focus on and how to rebuild. Still very vague. Then you have decisions on where certain buildings would go and how it's staffed and all that stuff. You're like, but more than a city mayor or a planner, then you have to take an active role in confronting the challenges and dangers of this brave new world. Still totally vague. That's where the missions come into play. Missions are self-contained adventures where
we
the
know
player,
what a mission is.
right? You take direct control. You move, shoot, sneak, ambush, whatever it takes to get the job done. Again, this sounds like the description on a Walmart website more than an actual game description. Then they're like, rewards for missions can benefit your town, and your town's hard work can make your missions easier, right? And then it's like, it's a big circle. Just to explain it one more time. What you do in adventures affects your town, and what you do in town affects your adventuring. Like, all right.
It sounds like a really horrible combination of Fallout, Recettear, and a Valley Without Wind, which to me sounds like a terrible idea. That's assuming that it's what I think it is, but who fucking knows, because they're super vague about it. So, I don't know.
It's them trying to sell you something that is the most vague description of a game. It's like every game in the world.
They don't even know what it is, because they just had to remake it from scratch.
That's literally every game in the world. What you do in town affects your questing, and what you do questing affects what you do in town. No shit. That is every game ever made, period.
When you do a mission, the goal is to complete the mission.
And you get a benefit from it. Wow, really?
After completing the mission, you get things called loot or rewards, which you then can use to further quest and upgrade your town and get additional missions for said rewards.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid.
Amazing.
Yeah, so what we're essentially saying, guys, is don't give money to Black Isle because it's fucking bullshit, and it's
Not just them.
The name is being used to exploit you.
Anyone that doesn't give you information is shady.
Yeah, and especially anyone that doesn't promise you anything tangible in return for your money. You could, Kickstarter critic could apply the same thing to Kickstarter, but you get a game with Kickstarter. At least you do if the bloody thing actually finishes, and usually they actually provide some kind of evidence that the thing's going to happen.
If Kickstarter, the best rule of thumb for Kickstarter is if all they present to you, especially for a game, unless you're going like in on a comic book or a piece of art, when all they have is art or concept images, and they're like, we're trying to make a game, you probably are better off not putting money into that.
Yeah,
if they
that's
don't
a
have
good safety
anything.
Yeah.
Why would you spend it? Like, sure, the art looks great and the idea is great, but they are so far away from producing anything of actual like tangible value that it's unwise to even invest in something like that.
Yeah.
Just
It,
don't.
at the end of it's basically like it's gambling. You want to gamble with the money you can afford to lose, right? It's the same with Kickstarter. You don't go into Kickstarter thinking, oh, you know, I'm going to put this investment down. It's like, no, you throw money that is disposable, that you actually don't give a shit about at Kickstarter. And if you give a shit about that money, you shouldn't be kickstarting fucking anything.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. You know, if 10 to 15 bucks is a big deal for you, don't use Kickstarter ever, because it is the stupidest use of your money. You can get a game right now for that price. You can get many other things right now for that price. You're paying 15 bucks for the promise of a game. And that's fine if you can afford that money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But in this case, again, it seems to be playing on an old name, trying to exploit people's love for that old name, and also hinting very much, you know, in the biggest way they possibly can, this is the real Fallout 3, you know, even though it isn't. You know, so I would not even think about it, quite frankly. It's absolutely dreadful scheme, and should not be supported in any way.
Although I feel like I should go in on this "Will the Gentleman Yield" poster featured on the front page of Kickstarter. I don't know why,
What's that?
but I want it so
I saw
badly.
that. What is that? Is it literally just a poster?
It's a poster of ye old congressional sayings. It's like, "Will the gentleman yield?" And underneath it says, "I will not yield. The gentleman will observe regular order and sit down."
Give me a link to this thing. This sounds incredible. I want it.
I want this so bad. It's literally on the front page. It's the front page of Kickstarter.
No, it's not. I've got Rusty the Rainbow Whale.
Link it. Oh my god, watch. You guys, watch Rusty the Rainbow Whale's video. I was on a quest to find the worst Kickstarter videos, and that was one of them.
Really?
It was
It's about
incredible.
half-funded, actually. Like,
I know.
they're only asking
no,
for
I think the game is gonna be
$5,000.
good. Their video is
Is
crazy
it really,
pants, though.
really bad? Okay. Oh my god, there's this random animation of, I don't even know what that is, but it's pulsing at me with stars and shit. This is insane.
Well, the gentleman yield.
This doesn't look bad. Like, I would kickstart this. This actually looks kind of fun. By
Yeah,
Broken
The
Compass
video is
Studios.
crazy pants. You guys.
Go and have a look at it. Yeah, just go on Kickstarter, look for Rusty the Rainbow Whale. See if that's worth kickstarting. They're only asking for $5,000. They've only got 100 backers right now. That's really depressing, but they're actually halfway there.
I just realized something. I feel really good about this. Dodger has started using my word "crazy pants."
Oh, I have. Oh
feel
no,
good.
when did that happen?
I don't know, but it just did.
That's
good about
a
it.
really nice poster. Like, I would have that on my wall next to my propaganda sheets.
I want that poster very badly.
Yeah. Oh, you can get a silk screen print as well on heavy black stock. That sounds really good. And they estimate delivery like in 2 months.
Oh, that's great.
Next,
I'm
Dodger
packing the
needs to
shit
start
out of
using
this.
the word bonkers. That is bonkers. When you start using that, I will have completely morphed you into me.
You know what's the other thing that I've picked up from you is garbage. I start calling
That
things
is
garbage
garbage.
a lot.
That's okay, because I stole Dixon Butts. So when I swear, rather than swear, I say Dix. So thank you. That's the Kickstarter agenda.
All right,
That's
so it
what
would
they
appear
turned me
that
on.
the missus has gone into my account and tweeted, "My name is TotalBiscuit and I'm a brony." Fuck.
No, Jenna, what have you done?
I hate you so much, Jenna. Why the hell did you do that?
I'm gonna retweet
Marriage is
I hate you.
it's so much fun.
that. Retweet. It happened.
Yeah, that would be the missus doing that. God damn it. So I looked at it and I'm like, why is my Twitter account suddenly scrolling at an incredibly rapid rate? Like, my tweet deck actually can't keep up with it. I hate you so much.
Yay!
Whatever, that's marriage. That's what marriage is about, hating each other until you die.
Wow. Real talk with Jesse. You should, oh my gosh, you should start your own like version of Loveline.
Oh my god, all my
Crazy
answers
People
are
like call in and tell you their
if I had
stories.
the ability, I would
Totally.
do that. I would do that, and it would be amazing. I'd be like, "Hey, welcome to Love Line. This is Jesse." And like, "Hey, my girlfriend's cheating." I'd be like, "Dump the bitch." Next. I don't even need like. Yeah, so my boyfriend, he's really mean to me. That's because he thinks if he's mean to you, he's gonna get laid. Dump the bitch. Next. That's how I.
And then you
do
can
it.
make shirts that say dump the bitch.
No, because it's shirts. It'd be dump that, and it would have a picture of a female dog underneath it.
Oh, yes. Good
I'm
idea.
classy. Because I'm classy.
Because kids might be reading that shirt. Come on,
Kids
guys.
might see
Wow.
that, like, dump the dog. I don't even get it.
I don't get it. There's a bow on the dog, guys. Pick up hints. Jeez.
The dog has a giant rack. Don't you understand what that's supposed to mean?
This would be a great time for a break, I think. When we
Are
come
you
back.
sure? Because
No,
I feel like
I'm pretty sure.
okay.
I feel like we need fan art of a giant dog with huge boobs.
I don't think we need that.
Bulbasaurus Rex's like companion, puppy companion.
Puppy? Ew. Ew. Ew.
I've got my finger
Wow.
hovering over the ad break button. I'm going to
Wow.
press this shit.
Okay. Do it.
But
Do it. Do it.
Press it. Just press it.
it. Just do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Game Station podcast. What are you gulping
Oh. We were looking at Kickstarter.
Mhm.
And we came across
Jesse found the best Kickstarter ever.
I found a Kickstarter for something called the Booby Pack,
at? Okay.
which is
It's
a fanny pack
Garbage.
for your
No.
boobs.
It's dumb. It's the dumbest thing ever. There's zippers right here under your armpits, and you shove things in there, and then you would be so uncomfortable. It is the worst.
No,
These are my feelings.
you don't
This
understand
thing
how
looks
it works.
absolutely terrible.
See?
I was
Thank you.
drawn in by the fact it was called the Booby Pack.
You
In
know,
which
I've got this
case
great
I was like,
idea. It's called pockets. You know, I want to invent a system whereby you could store things in whatever it
No.
happens to be that you're
No,
wearing
that's-
around your
No,
posterior.
I understand the idea of it. It's that every time women work out, they don't have anywhere to put things, so they always wind up putting them in their bras. So everybody's
Locker?
like, oh, well, rather
I
than
don't
If
doing
you go to a
that, we'll
gym,
have pockets.
surely you have a locker, right? So you put
I
it
don't
in
think this
there.
is for
Who wants to
We're
pay
thinking
for a
store-
locker?
We're thinking store the numbers of the men that are constantly throwing themselves at them. Like,
Oh,
here,
true.
call me while we're at the gym. They're boobs, of course. I mean, makes sense. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
But then they get all
This is-
sweaty, and then you can't
the
read the
numbers
numbers
get
anymore.
smeared, yeah, and then the guys get offended. So next time you see them, they don't hold the door open for you. They're like,
No.
ugh, can't even call me. But this is targeted, I think, at the raver girl, because all the images are of them at concerts and different things, and they're like, I've got to store my pack of cigarettes in my boobs because I want to wear my tight pants and don't need a box hanging out.
hmm
That's what I've noticed.
And then you crush it under your giant man arms, ladies. This is what happened. Don't know. This is the worst idea ever.
I've been studying this website thoroughly, and I have yet to find any reason why should not be endorsed. I want this on every store shelf.
Every store.
Just
I want
back to
every
the
Walmart.
goddamn whale game, not this bullshit. Rusty the Rainbow Whale, folks, needs backing. Go back it.
Or you could go buy those. I also linked some My Little Pony wedding dresses. Just saying.
That's what I was looking at when we came back from break.
I want to spend $6,000 on this Craft Cthulhu thing. I thought maybe it might be practical. What would be nice is a Kickstarter, which is solely for Dominion cards. Or Ascension, that works too. Because as you're well aware, games like Ascension and Dominion have a shitload of cards, and they're really hard to store them in an organized way. So, the holy grail of Dominion players is to find a good storage system, and there's all sorts of different ideas. If someone had just Kickstarted it solely with, this is a box for Dominion, yeah? And I would buy the crap out of that box for Dominion.
They have like the boxes for Ascension with the sleeves, but at this point there's so many Ascension cards that they don't fit into the box.
And
It's
bear
so
in
dumb.
mind, Dominion has about 4 times the expansions that Ascension has and uses more cards, so it's a nightmare. But I mean, I'm looking at this Craft Cthulhu stuff. It looks really nice, but like the $40 display thing will probably fit a Magic deck in it. That's about it. Like if I wanted something that would fit everything, there doesn't really appear to be one. I think maybe the $1,000 one might work, but I'm thinking maybe that's a little bit too much.
Too much to
Little
spend, you
bit.
think, maybe?
Little bit.
Just a smidge. It's
Just
nice. It's a nice artistic thing, but it doesn't seem all that practical. So, no, I want a Dominion storage box. Someone kickstart the crap out of that. All right, I promised you the
Nope.
chinchilla story.
Yes,
oh,
thank
but
you.
Oh,
Okay.
that was what it was? Okay, yeah.
I was
It's
gonna
not
stop
actually
you.
that interesting at all, but last night we let the chinchillas out as we do. We've got this nice area of the house kind of sealed off with cardboard walls to make sure that they can't get out. So they're allowed to run around that area. They can hide under the sofa as they like. You know, it's like a cave to them. They're pretty cool with it. And they can climb over stuff when they want. But lately, Timo has taken to climbing on top of the cage, which is quite a tricky thing to do, but apparently she's managed it. And so she was sitting on top of the cage for like about 2 hours, and then I'm like, right, this is it. You've got to go back in the cage now, because I can't keep watching you, and I don't want you to jump to your death. So I move over there to try and grab her. I move very slowly, kind of just, you know, Chariots of Fire style. And then I try to at least kind of shoo her towards the edge so that she'll be easier to grab. First thing she does is dive behind the cage, which is, it is unfortunately possible to do that. Like, it's right up against the wall, but the way the cage is designed is it kind of juts out a little bit, so you could kind of squeeze yourself behind that cage. And that's what she did for about an hour. She went halfway down and was just like, imagine this chinchilla kind of squished like this for about an hour. And I'm like, right, this is getting ridiculous. So I got her a piece of cardboard and kind of poked her so she'd go back up. And she kept doing this, going in and out, in and out. And eventually I had to grab her by the tail. And that's the only way to hold the chinchilla. And the reason is because they have detachable fur. These motherfuckers have detachable fur.
Isn't that great?
Which means that they use it to escape predators. If a predator grabs them by the fur, they just detach the fur and run. It's ridiculous. And so the only way to get him is to get him by the tail. So I have this fucking big chinchilla, because Timo's big. Big fucking chinchilla dangling by the tail. And I try to kind of put my hand underneath to make sure that I'm not kind of swinging this chinchilla around like some kind of pendulum thing. And then she just goes, ow! And I was like, fuck you! God damn it! And so I just kind of put her in the cage as quickly as I can. And then she goes up in the corner and sulks for like 2 days. So chinchillas are annoying little bastards at times. And that's probably put our whole trust relationship back by about 6 months. We're getting to the point where she thought I wasn't going to eat her, but now she definitely thinks I am. So, yeah, chinchillas take a long time to really get into a state where they'll actually trust you. And we're not doing that well with ours at the moment. And that is why.
But they have detachable fur.
Because she's a dumb bitch.
My favorite part of that story. Yeah. I didn't know that chinchillas had detachable
Dump
fur. I
the
think
bitch.
that's great.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Dump the bitch.
Yeah, a slight trip up in the stream. Everything seems to be fine otherwise, so don't worry. It's back up. Nothing to concern yourself with.
Ooh.
Everything is running fine now.
I like the picture that was just posted of that horrible creature. It's
oh yes.
Hello there, TV.
Yeah, that's it. I can show that on the. Or at least I can try. Hang on.
Sure.
It was just posted in the Twitch channel.
That's a wonderful picture.
Yeah.
Hey there.
Yeah, that is what happened.
That's the voice. That's. Hello there, TV.
Yep.
It's me, your chinchilla.
Yep, that's pretty much what happened. She's an annoying little bitch at times. Adorable, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna hide behind the cage. It's like, you dumbass. What is the point?
No, Timo, don't do it.
But there you go. Oh well. All right, let's do a few trailers, shall we? We have trailers
Let's talk about the upcoming year in video games.
Yes, that's probably going to be the rest of the show, isn't it? So
yes.
Yeah, let's start with 3 trailers, because these are 3 trailers of games that actually might not suck that are coming out in the next few months.
Oh, there's my fire alarm.
Is yours? Okay.
Yep.
Never mind. All right. So these games may not suck and are coming out in the next few months. It's okay if I keep talking; it kind of blocks out your Skype. So.
Yes.
Continue, I just have to keep rabbiting on. It should be fine.
Just go. Yeah.
All right.
I'll just mute myself until it's over. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds reasonable. Because we're going to watch a trailer anyway, so it's going to be a few minutes. In fact, we're going to watch like 5 minutes of Bioshock Infinite. And this is the first 5 minutes of the game. Bearing in mind, it has minor spoilers of the first 5 minutes of the game. This is presented to you, of course, by Irrational. So let's have a look at Bioshock Infinite.
Booker, are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you. you going to just sit there?
As compared to what? Standing?
Not standing. Rowing.
Rowing? Planned on it.
So you expect me to shoulder
What's
the
this?
burden?
No. But I do expect you to do all the rowing.
And why is that?
Coming here was your idea.
My idea.
I've made it very clear that I don't believe in the exercise.
The rowing.
No. Imagine that's wonderful exercise.
Then what?
The entire thought experiment.
Excuse me. How much longer?
One goes into an experiment knowing one could fail.
But one does not undertake an experiment knowing one has failed.
Can we get back to the rowing?
I suggest you do, but we're never going to get there.
No, I mean I'd greatly appreciate it if you would assist.
Perhaps you should ask him. I imagine he has a greater interest in getting there than I do.
I suppose he does, but there's no point in asking.
Why not?
Because he doesn't row.
He doesn't row?
No, he doesn't row.
Ah, I see what you mean. We've arrived. Shall we tell him when we'll be returning?
That chain gang.
It might give him some comfort.
At least that's something we can agree on.
Hey! Somebody meeting me here?
I'd certainly hope so.
It does seem like a dreadful place to be stranded.
Well, maybe there's someone inside. Excuse me, it's Booker DeWitt. I guess you're expecting me? Good luck with that, pal. Is anyone here? Hello?
When I'm in trouble, it's good when I'm in trouble. It's good when I'm in trouble, and it's good enough for me. The old time religion, the old time religion, the old time religion is good enough for me.
Shit.
When I am dying, it's good
Wait a minute, that card. What in the world is... All right. Looks like they expect me to sit in their fancy chair. So now... What the hell? Go!
Make yourself ready, Pilgrim. The bindings are there as a safeguard.
This can't be good. No, God damn it!
Ascension in the count of 5. Count of 4.
No.
3, 2, 1.
Well, I don't know about you lot, but I learned absolutely nothing from that. And for some reason, you're still muted.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. No, you're just
No,
being really, really quiet. Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
still
no,
muted.
I
There we
was
go.
watching it on the stream. Okay. First things first. Look, I love Nolan North and Jennifer Hale as much as the next person, but fuck me, they are in every game. Ever.
Yeah.
It's at first I was like, that's cool, they're very good voice actors. I get it. You know, but holy shit, gaming world. Just keep shoving them down. After a while, it becomes borderline like, all right, well, it's like watching Tom Cruise play other characters when it's like he's still just Tom Cruise. Like,
Right.
It's Tom Cruise is this character? No, it's Tom Cruise in a situation where he's playing some guy, but he's still Tom Cruise.
Steve Blum is a bad guy. You know,
Yeah.
at least except in the games where he isn't. And that's that voice is the most distinctive of anyone, in my opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Troy Baker. Whatever. Troy Baker is in every game too. There's like a small group of like 5 or 6 voice actors who are in every game, which is fine. That's great until they're in every fucking game. Then, like, you know what? I'm done. Like, really, at that point, you're just like, how can you? They're all good, right? You have no. It's such a weird thing. Like, I can't complain. They're all really good. They do the voices justice, but it's the same voice over and over again. It's the same reason why I have major issues with like anime, because it's always the same voice actors doing exact like, oh no, Fujiguchi-kan, we've got to stop Gurashi Kanu. It's like, oh Jesus, stop. It annoys me greatly, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
feel
jealous.
variety is kind of required. Like,
Yeah,
you can't just keep
Yeah.
having Nolan North voicing all the main characters. You can't keep doing that because honestly, he's not actually got that much range. What he does really well, and
Right.
that's kind of where it ends.
And people are like, man, Jesse, he's just jealous. I'm not jealous. As an active viewer and like person who plays games, at a certain point, having the same voice for everyone is borderline annoying. That's
Yeah.
why I love
It's boring too.
yeah, Final Fantasy 12, for example, mediocre game, but the voice acting in that game was stellar because what they did is they went and they found theater actors who had never, like, there were a few who had, but who had never done voices before and were like, you do the voices. And they were spot on.
Yeah, because
about
they had
theater
no preconceptions about what video game acting is supposed to be like, and they hadn't fallen into a rut, I guess. Yeah, I actually, come to think of it, remembering back to my time with Final Fantasy 12, you're right, actually, it was pretty well voice acted for a Final Fantasy game.
Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of thing, like, I just want to hear different voices. Like, it's cute every once in a while hearing the same voice, like, but when every major release, without a doubt, if you need, I guess it's because she's really consistent and really good. Like, I get Jennifer Hale, she's a great voice actress, but it's like they don't even bother to try anyone else. They're just like, let's just go with her because we know she'll do good. Okay, we all know she's going to be good, but that means that every character ends up sounding the same, which is really depressing. And so it's just like, all right, fine, let's just we know, all right. So then you care less about the character, and so you have, I don't know. It just aggravates me.
Well, it's actually really hard for me to reconcile it in my mind when if I see any other game that has Jennifer Hale in it, I immediately think FemShep all the time, and it's hard for me to reconcile the fact that it isn't. And that's actually a problem for me. It really, really is. Because the voice acting always sounds the same. You can change the look of a person.
Right.
You know, it's like Gary Oldman, for instance. Yeah? Like, I don't mind him being in other movies because he looks different in every movie. He sounds different. He's playing a completely different character. But Jennifer Hale or Nolan North, they're pretty much both playing the same character in any game they're put in. And it's not their fault. It's the fault of the developers for picking them to do that in the first place.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact, for example, Steve Bloom has a tremendous range. I have heard him play countless characters, but because he does that one, like, gruff voice really well.
Exactly.
Developers are so stupid that they keep casting him as the exact same character over and over again.
He's typecast to hell,
Yeah, Jennifer Hale, we need sort of like this in-charge chick or someone who's going to be, no matter what, she has the same voice every time. Because that's what they want. They hear that and they're like, that's who we want to be our character. They never think outside the box because
they're all typecast. Yeah,
it's really depressing. And then what happens is we then have to hear them over and over again, playing the same characters over and over again. They just look different. And it annoys me. And that's not jealousy, because I will admit I'm nowhere near as good as this, that like weird cabal of like Steve Bloom and Jennifer Hale and Nolan North and Baker and Yuri, whatever his last name is. Like that whole group is stellar. They're really good. But the problem is they are so typecast consistently that every time you hear them, it's the exact same voice over and over again in a new game. It's infuriating to me. And at first it was like sort of like a fun game, like, oh, that's Jennifer Hale, I hear her again. And now it's just like it's Jennifer Hale again. Yeah. You're in every game, woman. Take a break.
I will dub different voices for this game just so I don't have to hear you. I will do it.
Like it's a shame. I mean, I'm not like mad that they're doing it. It's just a shame that I have, it's there, which is just aggravating.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Some people were claiming that there's like 2 people claiming they were static and everyone else isn't. So like, well, you know what? It's probably on your end.
Weird.
Then. Yeah, might very well be something that you want to.
All my tirades end with static, so it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
You always crash the stream, Jesse.
Those watching on the stream, just change your resolution. The chances are that's probably fixing it for you. It's probably only on one of the resolution options. May very well just be an encoding problem on Twitch's end, but again, that's nothing I can do anything about. I could talk about gameplay, but there wasn't any. I could talk about how very, very similar that opening was to the original BioShock without a doubt.
Yeah, I kind of like that, though.
Yeah. I don't disagree with it. I like that because, like, oh, wow, this is totally BioShock in every way, which is cool.
Yeah, and you're going up instead of down.
Yep. First 5 minutes, of course, has no gameplay whatsoever. It's fine. That's standard. I can deal with that.
Here's the thing: there was gameplay. They just didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I first off, if you saw my expression when you went back live, I was way into it. I was following like.
So was I.
Like, oh yeah, but the problem is there's so much as a gamer who is a giant loot whore and who constantly explores everything there is to explore, and seeing that room when he first walked in and like all the different like signs, I was like, just stop and look at the sign. What's that damn sign say? I know they were trying to get, right? Just go explore, do something. And I know they were trying to like get you to the point where the like when the aliens come down. That's what I think was happening. But
it's a game about aliens, guys. I don't know if you knew.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware. It's Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
They also might have been trying to keep it from being as spoilery as possible.
I understand. I get it. It's just that I can't like. It's one of those things where when does this game come out again?
I think it's March. I'm pretty sure they pushed it back a month.
I was going to say, I thought it was February.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they pushed it back a month. They may have pushed it back to February.
All right. Well, because there was so much there that I was really excited about seeing. And one of the things I thought was funny, there are a lot of TB fans here when everyone was like, the FOV is ridiculous. It was your mind.
I wouldn't worry about that. That's something that is in the options menu that PC Gamer said. I just went to search for it and I found like the most dishonest fucking thing ever. Apparently, a website in the UK called PC Advisor has a review of BioShock Infinite up already, and they reviewed it based on like their 10-minute hands-on at a press event, and they called like, "This is our review." It's like, no, it fucking isn't. You twats.
It's your first look. It's your first look. It's not a review. You can't review anything.
You can't review anything at press events. In fact, that's actually like the biggest reason that I absolutely hate press events is how unbelievably controlled they are. And you get nothing out of it. Nothing. I just don't bother attending them anymore. I get invites to them like it's a waste of my time. Because what you're going to do is you're going to ply me with alcohol, you're going to give me food or whatever, you're going to make me watch some shitty presentation, then you're going to give me a hands-on of like your best level for about 10 minutes, and then a token 5-minute interview. And that will be your press event.
That was
exactly
what the Elder Scrolls Online was. Best game of the year. Single best game ever made, ever. Alcohol, please.
It's bullshit. I hate it.
Greatest.
Yeah. Journalists shouldn't even be turning up to their stuff. Even YouTube commentators who are like a level below journalists, they definitely should be turning up to those things. But anyway, yeah, it is March 26th for this. Yes, I know you would. Give him all the invites. He's a shill. He'll shill anything.
I will shill with the best of them. Get them all on you. I heard your game needs publicity. I will publicize the shit out of that.
Yeah, so I say, it's nice to see it. It looks neat. I like. There's a lot of brass. I like that. I need more brass in my games. So I also great soundtrack choice as always with every BioShock game. Great music.
Yeah.
And I'm interested actually. I want to see if they do actually really investigate kind of religious themes in this one, because it's not really something they do in BioShock. It's like, whoa, we're atheists under the sea. That's pretty much it.
I know they've said that there's no connection to BioShock 1 and 2 in this.
No, not as far as I can tell.
Isn't it like a prequel?
Are we ever going to get a...
I think it is. Well, technically, like in the chronology, I think it is. But
yeah. Sorry, keep going.
The BioShock 2 ending, I don't want to know, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't beaten BioShock 2, but the ending, there's 2 versions, but no matter what...
Spoiler fingers.
Spoiler fingers.
That way you can just talk about it.
Yep,
no matter what, at the end of the game, be it good ending or bad ending, you have a little girl unleashed upon the world with magical powers. Basically, that's what it is. So, how, wouldn't that be worthy of some sequel?
Maybe.
Well, number
or
2...
At least connecting it?
Number 2 wasn't made by the same company. BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite are the same company, but BioShock 2 is a separate thing.
I understand, but that
sort of. As I recall correctly, it's sort of like there was kind of a lot of consultation involved in it. It was the weird thing about BioShock 2 is it was developed by 6 different fucking companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically 2 studios of 2K. It was 2K Marin and 2K China. Digital Extremes were involved in the multiplayer. Arcane, the Dishonored guys, were involved in the level design. And Darkside Studios did some work for them, and then Feral Interactive did the macOS version. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. It wasn't by Irrational. So, but it's such a weird story because there's just so many people involved in that game.
Because the ending of it is very strange, where it's one of those sort of, and this isn't a spoiler thing, it's no matter which ending you get, either the really bad or sort of bad or mediocre or sort of good or really good ending, they all end in the exact same sort of fulcrum point where this is a to-be-continued kind of scenario. And the fact that the next game has nothing to do with that, I'm sort of like, I want continuation. And
maybe someday it'll happen.
Well, I don't actually want any more. I don't want any more BioShock Under the Sea. Certainly, I think I've had my fill of that.
Well, I think they ended that at the end of BioShock. I don't think you can anymore at the end of BioShock 2.
Yeah,
which I guess
that's fine.
Yeah.
Basically, then I want Space BioShock at some point.
Yeah, Space Shock.
Isn't that basically Dead Space? But I don't know.
Biospace.
Yeah. Biospace would be fine. Infinite is like there is a thing in the sky, and most of it's made of brass. That's fine with me.
I saw the horns, and I want to know what the connection. There's got to be some connection. If it's not in the same world, I can accept that. If they want to do a Final Fantasy thing and just be all the BioShocks are in different realities, I can accept that if that's the way they're going. But they've never hinted at that. So I'm just sort of give me answers. That's it.
Word.
Yeah.
Next trailer.
I'm trying to think whether or not, I'm pretty sure it is in the same world though. That's
what I'm saying. It really pisses me off that I just don't know.
It's before, I can say that for a fact, because this is in 1900. The events of the game are 2 years before the First World War. So, I mean, bear in mind that BioShock had a plane in it.
So then it definitely is not. Someone was saying
prior to all of this
in the chat that maybe it's the sequel and that the girl in the thing. Apparently, it's not because this is earlier.
Yeah,
so
it's totally earlier. There's no question about that. And basically, Irrational has been really, really shirty about this. They've kind of refused to confirm whether or not it's actually in the same universe. There is a possibility of it, but they're probably just going to not even address it. And that's fine, because the BioShock lore isn't really relevant. It's the whole BioShock idea is that it's
stolen, really.
Well, yeah, it's some fucked up, weird place that was created with the aim of making a better society, which turned out horribly wrong because everyone was dumb and deluded. And now there's monsters.
Yeah. It's like
best explanation of it ever.
It's like Atlas Shrugged, the what would really happen version.
Yeah, exactly. Atlas Shrugged, if applied to reality in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. If smart people went off to go live by themselves, what would really happen? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, okay, let's move on to the next trailer, shall we? And we're gonna have a look at Aliens Colonial Marines. Multiplayer trailer came out last week. This game is also coming out in February, so let's take a look.
Peggy 18.
Sephora 26, Sephora 26, do you read?
Mark locations and seal this place up.
Lock this place down, Marines. Repeat, lock this place down. You've got new objectives active. Marines, you don't have much time. Set up perimeter defenses.
Look lively. 20 meters and closing.
Eyes up, people.
Take the well to it.
Well is hot. Get that door open.
15 meters. Closing fast. 10 meters. 5 meters. Here they come. Contact. We got it. We got it.
Door's opening.
Come on, move. Behind you. Hold on, I got you!
Get ahead, closing!
We lost another one! They're in the bin! They're picking us apart! Look out! Damn it! Jesus Christ!
Alright, there you go. Aliens Colonial Marines. That was a trailer for their Survivor multiplayer mode as recently unveiled. It's Left 4 Dead, right?
It reminds me of Natural Selection. Natural Selection 2.
Sort of, but
yeah,
I mean, you know for a fact, it does look like that. But the thing is, like, Natural Selection's got to look like that. It's like, oh, it's a facility of some kind, and there's aliens there. But I mean,
yeah,
the whole concept
to
of
me,
like,
it looks like Dead Space Halo.
The gameplay seems to be, I would imagine it's kind of an objective-based survival mode, so rather than just kind of being sit here and defend for as long as you can, like, say, the original AVP games, it's most likely, alright, there's 4 Marines, now you're going to have to go do this objective, then this objective, which is going to force you to move around. All the time, aliens are coming at you. So, I mean, it's not an original idea. This has been done by several games in the past, and of course, Left 4 Dead is a prime example of that. And that fits in perfectly with the whole notion of aliens coming to kill you. It didn't mention whether or not this is kind of any kind of versus mode. I think my understanding of it appears to be it's just a 4-player co-op survival.
I thought at the beginning they were setting up to be versus because they were like
Xenos objectives. Yeah.
Right. But then they were like, no, it's 4 of you versus about 1 million guys. I'm like, all right.
You're like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did wonder if you could like be a special alien and then you just have like the 4v4 and then you switch objectives, kind of like Left 4 Dead, but I don't think that's the case. As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to really involve that at all. It seems fine, you know. I mean, it's nothing we haven't seen in every other Alien game. You know,
we should totally play it.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But I mean, it's just the same alien shit that's in every other Alien game, which is totally fine. Yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely co-op from what I can tell. So it's just a 4-player co-op mode. It's fine, you know. That's all right. I mean, it's a nice little mode, but the only multiplayer mode I'm ever really interested in that has Aliens versus Marines is where you play both, because the dynamic there is really
that's
fun.
what I wanted it to be.
Apparently, it's got that too. I mean, they do have that. It's just this is the Survivor mode, so I guess,
Gotcha.
I'm much more into that. That's why I think like the original AVP had such a great multiplayer mode, because it had those 3 really different styles of play, and all of them were viable in their own ways, and it was super tense and really cool.
Word.
February is where you're going to be able to get this one. Looks
A
alright.
lot of games are coming out. January is no man's land for video games.
As always, yeah.
But February, get ready. A lot of good ones.
Yep, a lot of good ones then, and in March as well. And Aliens Colonial Marines is on the way. And let's have a look at another scary space game. We've got Dead Space 3. Another co-op trailer, actually. Adding co-op to a survival horror game. All right, well, let's take a look.
Let the evolution begin! You Isaac Clarke? Get the fuck off me. Answer me! You find somebody else for your suicide mission.
We did. She told us to find you.
Stay focused. We've got this.
No, not again.
Hey, if you're seeing something that isn't there, you need to tell me, okay, Carver?
Whatever you're seeing, it's not real, man. You gotta trust me here.
You okay?
And now it's time for you to join the cycle of rebirth.
There you go, Dead Space 3 co-op multiplayer trailer. And we do know a few things about that, and it was shown in the trailer, and this is something we mentioned, I think, at a previous show, that the way that they're doing the co-op is they're having a rather asymmetrical look at it, as in one player sees things that the other player doesn't.
Doesn't, because he's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I love that too. It's so cool.
I don't know how effective it would really be at generating tension, though, because, I mean, you go into the game knowing that that's going to happen, so surely it's like, it doesn't generate tension, right?
I hope that they don't just keep that, like, it's not just a cutscene thing. I hope it's an in-game thing where you're one of you's playing Isaac, right, running around killing monsters, and the other guy is seeing stuff that isn't there and is just unloading on nothing.
Yeah, totally.
That would
be the
amazing.
worst. Who would want to play that one? You wouldn't want to be that guy.
But you wouldn't know. But none of you would know. And I think playing it online would be even better. And that whole idea, the concept is great if they make it like that. If they make it like Fear 3, where because 2 people are playing and you each have, one guy has guns and one guy has psychic powers, that's fine. But what happens is the scares are all the same. So if someone gets ahead of someone else, they see the scares and the other person completely misses it. And then it's sort of a half a game for someone. That kind of sucked. If they can pull this off with being it where both of you can have 2 different, entirely horrifying experiences, I'm down. I'm down completely for this game.
And if they can pull that off, then quite frankly, they'll be the first company to have managed that. Because playing horror games in multiplayer is actually usually not that scary at all. Especially, I mean, co-op. Versus multiplayer can be. I mean, AVP is a prime example. That was fucking terrifying, especially with playing the Marine. Like, a well-played alien or predator could scare the crap out of you. Or the Hidden. The Hidden's another great example of where you could scare the shit out of people. But in co-op, don't know about that. We'll see. I'm a little doubtful as to whether they can pull it off. But it's interesting. I mean, at least they're innovating.
My offer still stands. Sweet Dodger. My offer. You're more than welcome to play Dead Space 3 with me.
Just go spam play the rest of number 1 and then just blast through number 2 and be like, all right, I'm ready.
Just saying, my offer still stands. The internet wants to see this happen.
I know.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
I would love to do that too. I've been so ornery at this point. Feel like I can't back down.
Yeah. In response to the people bitching about showing a Sega-published game, this is TGS, not my channel, so it's got nothing to do with me.
He doesn't care if they get sued.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, it's my personal boycott. I'm not going to boycott it on behalf of the rest of the guys on the podcast, because they'd be kind of pissed at me. I mean, come on. Jesus Christ. Idiots. Oh, well, that pretty much is Dead Space, and that is also coming out in February, so busy.
We've already been doing this for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That blasted by, guys. All that movie talk. I feel like we're all closer now. Chinchilla stories.
Yeah.
We've done a lot today.
Is that what that is? I think that's Dodger's way of saying we're done. I'm going.
I just noticed. It blasted by. I was surprised.
All right. Well, do we have any more trailers, or are we done?
No, that's just done for the trailers, and there's nothing coming out over the next month, pretty much, so there's no reason to really concern yourself with any of that. Which is unfortunate. It just gives you catch-up time, man. I'm going to use it to catch up. I'm going to finish Persona. I'm going to hopefully get into Anno in a big way, and I might even play a little bit of the previous Persona, probably Persona 3 Portable or something. So, and then probably get pissed off because JRPGs tend to have really annoying mechanics in them, and it takes them like 5 games to fix. And I hear like Persona 3's got some stuff that's going to piss me off.
Oh no!
Because like Persona 4 fixes that stuff, and
you just boot it up and you're like, nah, and just turn it off.
That's probably going to happen. I'll probably play a few hours of it and then just get sick of the fact that it's just not mechanically as good as the next game. So I guess I'm waiting for Persona 5. The rest of you, but yeah, that's how it's going to be. Alright, well, what's going on in the channel this week then? Or is there anything? Because I don't know about you. I'm kind of chilling out really until the new year.
I mean, I'm just doing my normal nonsense. Gaming news Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Gameplay stuff. I'm still playing Lucius and Testament of Sherlock Holmes, and then on Dexterity bonus, I'm doing a vlog. So, that's me.
Cool. Jesse, what are you doing?
No,
quite literally, what are you doing?
He wants to read us something.
Okay.
Before we go, I want to read you something.
All right.
It's from my trivia for the toilet book.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this week has been pretty lax. I mean, I pre-recorded stuff, so I pre-recorded and then sort of, so you have at least a video day to watch. But since I'm out of town, I can't really record anything. So you know, but I can read trivia from the toilet. The reason firehouses and most olden-timey buildings have circular stairways is from the days of yore, when the engines and various other things were pulled by horses. The horses were stabled on the ground floor and would figure out how to walk up straight staircases, so circular staircases were needed.
What? Interesting.
That's pretty cool. For the toilet.
Trivia for the toilet.
That's pretty cool.
10 out of 10.
The more you know. So,
the classier version of that, by the way, is the QI book.
Yeah.
Oh, QI.
I got that on my Kindle, and I read that constantly. It's great.
But no, that's pretty much it. So, literally, the minute we're done here, I'm gonna make live another Dead Space. So, for those watching live, have fun with that. If you're not, you've seen it, or you just don't care. So, yeah.
Yay.
What am I doing this week? Probably not a lot. I'll be doing a little bit. Ooh, I forgot. Actually, there is a game coming out in January that I care about.
Uh-oh.
DMC?
Shut up. No one cares about that.
I'll play it on PC and I'll see if it's any good. I'll try it out.
Dante sucks.
It's probably I'm not keen on the new Dante. The new Dante's in PlayStation All Stars and he's awful. But there is a game that I do care about, and it's a level 5 game, and level 5 is amazing. And like pretty much every JRPG I've played that I've enjoyed has been made by level 5, and that is, I believe it's Ninakuni, the Wrath of the White Witch. It's the art style it's the guys who did Spirited Away, if I recall correctly.
Really?
They're the guys doing the art, and the actual
it's like
developer
a
is level
Ghibli
5.
Game. Like,
Yes.
Studio Ghibli did all of the art for it.
Yeah, and level 5 is level 5 are fucking phenomenal. So they're the guys that are doing it. They did Professor Layton, for those who don't know. They did Inazuma 11, the ones that they're getting sued by Sega for having the audacity to have touchscreen controls. Yeah. I believe they were involved in Dragon Quest. Yeah, they did Dragon Quest 9. I believe they did Dragon Quest 8 as well. For PSP, they did like Jeanne d'Arc, which is an amazing game. They did Rogue Galaxy, which is probably one of my favorite JRPGs ever, and has Steve Blum as one of the main characters being a pirate in space, which is, well, quite similar to other roles he's played. They also made Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2.
What
so,
role is that?
Yeah, those guys are phenomenal. So Ni no Kuni is on its way January the 22nd. It's PlayStation 3 and Nintendo DS because, you know, that's a weird combination of platforms to put it on. But
why not?
Yeah, it's already out in Japan on... in fact, it came out apparently 2 years ago on DS. Holy shit. In Japan, but it never got a release in the US or Europe, and now it's coming to PlayStation 3 in January. So,
dude,
it's pretty
Phoenix
cool.
Wright versus Professor Layton is out, and I want it so bad, but it's not here yet.
Japan? Yeah, God. Didn't they say they weren't going to bring that over, or have they changed their mind?
Bring it here! I would play it!
3 hours ago, we just got done saying that Japanese don't care. And they're like, we do what we want. Now you're like, but Japanese, please!
Well, no, I mean, that still goes to the same thing.
Care.
The problem is they don't care, you know? That has no US
It would make so much
date.
money. People love that nonsense. And then it's that nonsense versus that nonsense. It would be brilliant.
Yeah.
That nonsense.
So Level 5 actually ran a Facebook poll for Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney as to which title are you the most interested in having localized. Like, that one won by a landslide, but they still haven't announced a release date. So there's no confirmation of that whatsoever. Fuck.
You are really aggravated by this.
Rightfully so, man. So,
I guess if I had a 3DS, I would care.
You know, 2 games on the DS that did really
You have a
well?
PS3.
Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton. You know what would really work? Both of them together. You know what we're not going to release in any English-speaking country? That game. Yeah, that sounds smart.
Why?
Jackasses.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
Ni no Kuni.
Man, I don't care the way you don't care.
Ni no Kuni. I will definitely play that.
Ni no Kuni.
Yeah. So that may be my JRPG in January. But yeah, video-wise, I'll do some more PlanetSide stuff because, you know, we're ramping up to this whole Battle Royale thing that's happening. That's going to be happening on January the 25th. I cannot tell you anything else about it. So please, by all means, just keep an eye. I'll let you know what's going on with it.
I'd like to read you another trivia.
Sure, why not?
Because it's amazing.
Yeah.
When Bugs Bunny first appeared in 1935, he was called Happy Rabbit. Thank you.
That's wonderful.
I like how their creative name was Call Him Happy Rabbit.
That was wonderful. That was really well done.
Yep.
Yeah. And in the new year, I might start this Dota series, especially if you guys are up for it. I'll get Purge down, and he'll teach us how to play Dota, and we'll play
I'd love to learn how to play Dota.
The superior game. It's like, I'm still not really sure if I like Dota more than I like League, and it's kind of, but whatever. It doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, it's video games, and they're not actually that important. So
I like how chat was so pissed at me. Chat was like, "Really? That was it, Jesse? Really?
That's what you had? Yeah.
That's it. That was the trivia.
The most interesting thing that Jesse could say all day. Well done.
Holy crap. That was amazing. They were really offended by that. You're welcome.
All right. That pretty much about wraps things up, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching. I'd like to remind you that you can follow us on Twitter. I'd like to remind it... Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that because that would make me... People are only going to construe that as me being a dick, so... Let's just say I reached a good amount of followers that was more than some other guy that I've been competing with for the last couple of years. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's his fault. He trolled me like 2 years ago. So, like my long game was, I will eventually pass you in Twitter followers. So, fuck you!
You did it!
It only took 2 years to get back at him.
So he pulled a long con. He was in it to win it.
He actually didn't give me he didn't give a shit. But, you know. Anyway, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter if you so desire. And that is at TotalBiscuit. If you want to follow Dodger, that's a Dex bonus. If you want to follow Jesse, that's Jesse Cox. And OMFG Carter, I believe, is the channel Twitter. My channel Twitter is Cynical Brit. So if you essentially want channel news without any bullshit, that's a good one to follow. And I don't read that one, which means I won't angrily reply to you. That's maintained by someone else. And Dodger, you don't have a channel Twitter yet, right?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah,
She
it's
doesn't
hard
use
to
it,
continue with
ever.
a 2, but I haven't used it.
Okay, so don't even bother. Right. Fair
Don't.
enough.
If I wind up using it again, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
Sounds like a plan.
So sweet of you.
Welcome.
Our channels are down there. There you go. You can also check out my StarCraft 2 channel. I actually have content on it for once. YouTube.com/TotalBiscuit. It has the entirety of the House of the Swarm tournament, including the FFA, which Husky participated in.
Well.
And actually came in second. Spoilers.
Really?
But
Wow.
yeah, he came in second. He held an attack by the GSL Code S semi-finalist.
That
We're not really sure how that actually happened.
is
but
awesome.
Yeah, that was really, really fun.
I'm gonna go tell him he's kind of a baller.
Oh, well, we recruited him.
Don't do
He's now the
that.
captain
I
of
will.
the Axiom B team. He's also the only one on the Axiom B team. So
He got me Pocky. So I
Pocket's good, man. It's delicious.
Don't inflate his ego. He's already more self-righteous than he should be.
Yeah, he got really pompous after that. It's like, okay, I'm in second. It's like, you realize that people were just, like, leaving you alone because you weren't a threat, right? But, hey, there you go.
He still got second,
Yeah,
TB.
he got second place. It's legit. And I think that pretty much covers it. So, also remember to check out the Game Station if you happen to be watching that. I'll be editing this show, so God knows when it's going up. But it's like, if you saw this next Thursday because I just uploaded it, it's because I'm horribly lazy. Just letting you know that.
Well, no one's in the office right now, so
Yeah,
you know,
I've got to edit. I've got to do the
it's your
conversion on it, which like only works half of the time. So I'll do my best, ladies and gentlemen. I will do my best to make sure it works out. But I think that pretty much concludes our show. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas.
Thanks, guys.
Are we doing one on the 2nd of January? Are you guys actually doing anything important on New Year's Day?
I'll be here. I'm not
on
doing
the
anything.
on the 2nd of January, nothing happens
Yeah.
the 2nd. If you said the 1st, I'd be like, it ain't happening.
Yeah. All right. Well, we may have a show on the 2nd of January then, so you may be seeing us at the same kind of time next week. If you happen to watch the live show, I'm on twitch.tv/TotalBiscuit, which is always on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, that being at 12 midday in the Pacific, and 8 p.m. British Standard Time, or GMT, 9 p.m. Central European Summertime, 10 p.m. Eastern European
I have another
Summertime.
fact. I have another fact.
Oh,
I have
God.
another...
Okay, Jesse, go. Do it.
More people are killed annually by donkeys
Than
die
in
in
plane
airplane
crash.
crashes.
I've said this like 5,000 times. That is like the most common fact ever.
Most
Another one.
humans can guess someone's sex with a 95% accuracy rating just by smelling their breath.
Who participated in that?
A bunch of pervs.
What?
Is the simple answer to that.
Breathe on me. Dicks. Butt.